I never did what I was supposed to do.
Ron, you ready? Yeah,
Yeah,
I never
no,
do
I'm
what I was
ready.
supposed to.
I'm ready.
Hello, everybody.
I went to shut off my alarm. How you doing, guys? I went to shut off the alarm on my
That
phone.
was too funny. Ron, you ready? Yeah. Anyway, holy shit, I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
I went to shut off the alarm on the phone, and then because we were talking about this off the air, I had to respond to CVS because your medicine. Do you want us to renew the prescription you take
Would you
3
like
times a
to
day?
live another hour? Yeah,
Yes,
that'd be
yes, I
nice.
would.
Yes, I would like to live.
So I took care of that and didn't shut off my alarm for 6:30 tomorrow morning. That's what I had to
Oh, you
do.
don't want to get up at 6:30 in the morning on a
No,
Sunday.
that's what I
No.
did this morning so I could be up late with you guys.
Excellent.
I think that's a record for us going off the rails. We'd go off the rails even before Al hits the on-air button.
That was
Go
funny
us!
because Al got all of his Tourette's out. I was F-bombing everything. I was like Santa Claus F him. Yeah, Rudolph F him. Yeah, and F him. And F the Red Sox for blowing the game. And then I'm coming on here and I
Since
go,
when
Ron,
did you move to Philadelphia?
I know. I became Philadelphia. I like it. No, I love Santa Claus and Rudolph and the Red Sox. So in the chat, we have Phantomatic. How you doing, my friend? We have Midwest Gaming and Sports. Hope all is well. And Bubba Husky. Sam Tangled Web. Captain Carl. And Comics with Bueller. Comics with Bueller. Would you like to join in and tell us about the Comic-Con? It's up to you, my friend. I think next week I'm going to have Sam on, too. A day. Or maybe Saturday. I got Will coming on next week at some point. We're gonna talk sports movies. He's excited.
Sports
Good.
movies.
I was gonna talk about like okay, so what was your favorite porn? What? Not with Will. I'm just
Good.
that. I know it. I know which was a never mind.
Wait. They have names?
They do. The ones from the 70s had plots. Remember?
Oh, that's true. That is true.
That was hilarious. I'm sitting there going, "Wow, this is really a good plot line." I'm sitting there
what
going,
happens at the end of it.
"Yeah, huh." Well,
So did the movie have a great climax?
It sure did.
A few of them, but I'm bummed.
I'll send you. Oh, screw it. Let's roll the dice. We're putting the link right in the chat.
Let's not do that.
Let's don't do that. You gotta label that last night.
All right. They don't want to play Russian roulette. Okay.
Hey, it's your channel. You want to get bumped off like dog?
I've been banned before.
So, true story. Drive-in, late 70s, kind of a family movie for family adventure for
Wait a second. Wait a second. Drive-ins had porn. I remember that.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So the double feature first is kind of a family or friendly movie, and the second one is this softcore thing from about this. Remember the song about My Chevy Van? You know the guy.
Yes, I seen that movie.
Well, that was a theme to a movie.
Yes.
And so I was supposed to be asleep when that movie was on.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Guess who was not asleep for that movie?
That's when little Ron was like, wow.
And so my mother, like one point, the parent that took me to that movie, turned around and realized I was awake and was mortified. There was all sorts of parts, Al.
Yes, there are.
There were parts.
There were parts everywhere.
There were
parts in the air. There were parts in the hand. Parts. Oh my God! They parted everything, and fluids everywhere. Fluids in my hair.
Well, I don't think they did that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Look, all night long, he offered his honor, and she honored his offer, or whatever.
Yeah, that's Donald Sutherland. You want to talk about a bizarro movie they made in Italy? Well, it's in Italy, of course. They did the Count of Monte. No, what the hell? Who was the guy who
the Hump Monte Cristo? That was the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No. But who was the guy? The guy who was like the Kissing Bandit. But what the hell was he called?
Sergio de Berge.
No. Oh God, I can't. Shoot. I can see. It was a horrible movie, and they dubbed over. It's not even his voice, for God's sakes. It's hilarious, and it was it was a softcore. It was an R-rated. I watched it. It's the only reason why to watch freaking Cinemax. Cinemax doesn't even exist anymore because people are like, you can watch that on online for free. So
I remember flipping by one night, and Robert Vaughn was in one of those Cinemax softcore porn things.
Hey, everyone's got to work.
And apparently that was it. I mean, he was in his 50s, and that's the last thing you want to see is that.
I saw, now that we're talking about Cinemax, was like when we the funny thing when we got cable, right? So the people are like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, we went off rail right off the bat.
Yeah, there's no use trying
Sorry.
to salvage it at this point. And it's
Valentino. Oh my God, that's what it is. No, that's close. It's close to that. What the? There's it's a literary character. The Casanova. Oh my God, what is it?
the guy with the big
Casanova.
nose.
No, Casanova. The movie's called Casanova.
Literal Casanova.
And it's all right. We got to get off that subject now. Bueller's Joy. Bueller brings legitimacy to my
Can I
stream.
take a nap now that I've gotten off the subject?
Yeah, I love that. That got off the subject. I love that movie.
Got off that.
Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, Debbie does. Never mind. So in the chat again, thank you to everyone. We got Bubba Husky, Dave Little, Ken Castro, Sam's Tangled Weld.
Hey.
Debbie does Dallas, or does Al does Albaline.
Hey, Ken Castro finished 8th, by the way, in the National
Awesome
Applicant
sauce. Good job, Ken.
Hey, is Sam still in the chat?
Yes,
You should have him on sometime.
we're gonna. I'll put him on right now. If he wants to.
I'll send him a link.
Send him a link. Get him on. I want to get him. I'm not joking when I say I love you guys.
Okay.
That's why you're on here.
Here he
Let's
is.
get Sam on. I love Sam.
He's right
Oh
there.
my God!
I got the link. I got here as quick as I could.
That's amazing.
Oh, that is awesome! You made my. I had a good night already going, and then I get to hang out with my good friends Ron and Devin, and then comics comes on. I've been talking about having Sam on because I'm not joking. I like you guys, right? And that is awesome. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. So again,
Al, you're a good guy. Okay.
well, I'm glad.
Somebody thinks so.
Right, because what usually happens is I'll sit there and go, God, that was a fun chat. And then I go and wow, I lost 17 subscribers. I don't know how. Then I think back to what I said. Well, I should have lost more subscribers. Anyway, but that's awesome. That made, oh God. First of all, I'm happy because I got Ron and Devin here, right? And then comics comes out. Can we call you by your
Yeah, Travis.
Travis?
Yeah.
Travis, and then Sam, and that is you want. I'm like, yeah, send the link, and I'm here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, internet
let's-
technology's
The internet is they got hey. So I'm banned from Facebook. I'm going to tell this quick story, right? So
Hey, Al, real quick before you
Yes,
get started, I got to step away. My blinds, the sun is beaming in right now, so I got to go shut my blinds.
okay,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, the whole thing with a hologram isn't going to work if the sun's shining in there. Right?
so if Sam's there, I'll tell the story later how I got banned from Facebook within 35 seconds.
I was your only friend, too.
Uh-oh.
Well, they said they wanted a picture, so I sent them a picture of Ted Williams. That didn't go well.
That worked.
But so if Sam's there, they must have went comic book hunting. Did you guys go comic book hunting?
We did a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bueller went all crazy with the DC books and stuff. He'll explain it to you.
Yeah. All right, we'll get right back to you soon. All right, Ron, we're gonna do the intro. So it's go
Okay.
Ron,
Hi.
Devin. Yes, go.
My name is Ron Juckett. I do Retro Sports Network. We're doing a variety of different replays using different PC sim sports games and 82 Major League Baseball. We start the final tomorrow for that 70s tournament. The We Are Family Pirates against the 70 Baltimore Orioles. And I think Monday afternoon we're doing the game-winning drive bowl between the 1979 Tampa Bay Bucks and the 1979 Miami Dolphins with Dave Gardner. So a collab.
Squish the fishy. Squishy
Squish
the
the fishy.
fishy.
Go
Actually,
ahead.
kind of pulling for
Now, who are you pulling for?
Miami.
Oh my God,
I know. Hey, I'm already in the bunker. You can't kick me out at this.
I didn't say you're always in the bunker. There are people at work. They're like, "Am I going to be in this bunker?" I'm like, "Yes, but you don't get a vote on anything because you don't kill. Infected monkey kill, right? You're like, let the monkey live. No, bad.
And you know what? If failing the infected monkey, go with the infected puppy from the thing.
We talked about that last night with
We
Moni.
did. I know. I was
And she's like, you can't kill a dog. I'm like, okay, let me explain this one more time, Moni. I like animals. The dog is infected. You put it in quarantine. No, you don't get it.
doesn't
You don't
work
get it.
like that.
The dog is going to infect everybody and it's going to kill everybody. You put it in quarantine. Oh my God, Moni, I love you. You can be in the bunker.
But you can't vote.
You can't vote on anything. You can't vote on. So, OG, how it goes? Everything, my friend. Tell us.
Hey, because I know Al loves it. Hey, everybody.
I love that.
Devin, the OG, the original Groundguard. Strategic, tactical, historical, military simulations, war games, and other funness with dice, counters, and chits, and blowing stuff up imaginarily, and all that good stuff. Not really doing anything right now. Play wise because I'm in research mode and because I'm designing a series of scenarios for a game company, and I can't do two things at once because I tend to get focused on one. So no gameplay out of me for a while because I'm busy doing research. I've got 8 scenarios. I've got the framework for 8 scenarios done. I need to sit down and get the framework for the last 4. And I've got some other things I'm working on, but I'm waiting for some more research materials to come in. Like an old friend told me once, like, I don't do game design to make money. I do game design so I can afford more research material to
make more games. Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of what it comes down to.
Do you subscribe to the Military History Visualized channel?
Nope. I probably should because I subscribe to about 100 different military channels.
This guy is he's European and he might be German.
Oh boy.
The habits of making you learn history.
No,
you learn history the German way.
No, he comes across as very laid back, so he could be Dutch for all I know. But
you gotta watch out for those Dutch.
He's not American and he's not English. We'll just put it that way. But very, very well researched videos with the German translated into English and such. So
is it mystery history? That actually I'd probably watch. Military history visualized?
Yes.
All right, I found it. I'll subscribe, check it out.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Oh, I know this guy. I've seen a few of his videos. I haven't subscribed before now. Yep. Yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
So the Travis, Comics with Bueller, if you know, he was at a Comic-Con, which went much better than the last time we had him on. Now, I kind of enjoyed when he was pissed off at the Comic-Con that he went to because that was gold. That was funny because he's like he is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet on YouTube. And that's all I'll say about that. I'll give you my Forrest Gump moment. So now this one went much better. And he was on a panel, and it sucks because I literally get the thing. YouTube sends a thing like way late with these things. That's why when I go on like YouTube, I check certain channels right away. And hey, Thrice-A-Roni and Bubba Husky. And I jumped on like, oh cool, he's at a Comic-Con. And it's like, he's like, hi, bye, Al. Well, because he was done. He was going on a panel. So when and that's Sam's Tangled Web right next to him. And that was, if you missed the beginning, I go back. That was one of the funnest. First of all, again, I'll say it again. I'm happy when I'm on with Ron and Devin and my other friends. And Travis wanted to come on. I'm always happy when I tell Sam, whenever you want to come on, you come on, right? And he goes, do you want Sam? And Will's gonna join. Hey, Will, my buddy.
Hey
Will,
guys, what's up?
We're going to be doing something with Will next week too. During the week, we got to work the day out, and we'll talk movies or something. But whatever. How's everything going, Will?
Good. Unfortunately, I worked a doubleheader today, which it was good, but the Knights won, so all joys.
We'll get to that in a moment. Okay. So, Travis, Sam, first, we're going to talk about you guys had to have gone. We'll get to the Comic-Con, but because it's Travis and Sam, you guys had to do some comic book hunting today.
Oh yeah.
So, how did that go, my friend? You don't have. I know you don't have to give it away, but I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a ritual now. On Wednesdays, we kind of meet up with each other on Wednesdays because that's New Comic Book Day, and we hit a couple shops and stuff. But Sam headed out in this direction today, and so we hit the regular shops, and of course, I literally went to go pick him up, and I hit like a yard sale on the way to picking him up. And I found like a book for $25 that was like a $40 book right off the bat.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's going to be a good day. You know? And I go pick up Sam, and we hit this regular shop. And this shop that I go to is kind of owned by Dark Horse Comics, which is a publisher. And what they do, they don't sell any back issues. What they do with their comics is after a couple months, they just put them in a grab bag and they dump them.
Oh, wow.
After 2 to 3 months, they all go in grab bags. So they don't care. So not too long ago, Detective Comics 1000 came out, kind of a marquee book. And it was like a $9.99 cover price for that book. A lot of people bought it. A lot of people wanted it. And I held off because I knew that book would end up in those grab bags. And it's a thicker book. And so you can tell they're in there. Well, sure enough, I go into the shop today, and all the grab bags are filled with those books.
Wow.
And so I bought 18 copies of that book for 42 cents a piece.
That's incredible. So it was going for $9, right? Is that, if I understood that right?
Yeah, it's
$9.99.
$9.99 cover price, and here I bought 18 of them at 42 cents a piece.
That's awesome.
This is the type of stuff that I put in my boxes.
That's the other thing. He puts together. I'm going to get a Bueller box at some point because I want the comics. I'm not even a comic. I like comic books. I just don't collect them. I never did when I like reading. But his Bueller boxes are
you send me your address, you get a free Bueller box. Okay. I want you to have one.
Well,
I see that smile on your face. Get away with that. Get that smile off there. You send me your address. I'm going to send you a Bueller box.
I will do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So if you didn't see the beginning, and OG's like, stop talking about the beginning.
I'm fine with talking about the beginning.
I know you are.
Okay,
I know you. That was the best. He
It
says,
was gold, Jerry. It was gold, Jerry.
He says, you should have Sam on sometimes. Yeah, I want Sam on. Remember the Great Sports is on in the chat. Check him out. Great chat. I try to watch as much YouTube as possible. I got a bunch of stuff log jammed to go back and watch. But he says, we got to have Sam on. Yeah, send him. He goes, I'll send him the link. And Sam does this. He's there. So that's awesome. Awesome. We got Will here. And when he comes back, what's up, Clinton? And so Travis, we're going to talk a little. Travis is going to tell us about his Comic-Con he went to. He was on a panel, which if you want to share some of that, it'd be awesome, Travis, about your experience there.
So I was invited to come to this Comic-Con and cover it for them or whatnot, just to film some footage and promote their con and stuff. And as Al can contest, I give my honest opinion about the Comic-Cons I go to, or whether that means they invite me back or not. Some will, some won't. I'll just tell you that right now. So I was invited to cover this con, and then when I get there, I met the showrunner of the con. He's the guy I've been talking to on the phone, and he asked me if I would want to host some of the panels. And for some of the creators that are actually my, icons on my Mount Rushmore of comics, it was those type of gentlemen that I got the opportunity to host their panels. And I've never done it before, but I wasn't about to say no, to the opportunity. And so I got the opportunity to do it. One of the gentlemen was Chris Claremont, who is the godfather of pretty much the X-Men. If you've ever heard of any X-Men story whatsoever, he's the guy who wrote it.
I'm just going to interrupt 1 second, Travis. And what was interesting when you had your stream last night, when you brought up that he doesn't like the X-Men movies, does he?
Oh no,
That was incredible. I was in shock when you said that.
he doesn't, because a lot of the translations that you see from the comics to the movies, they're loosely interpreted. That's the best way I can kind of tell you what they are, and that's pretty much on all of them. It's not just the X-Men movies. It's on Avengers, Endgame, or Infinity War. They're loosely interpreted to what the comics said. He is a writer. He's the one who wrote these stories. It was his baby type thing. And when you take someone's creation, this gentleman literally wrote the X-Men for over 20 years straight. That's how connected he is to the X-Men. When you take his baby and you morph it and change all this stuff and you devalue some characters that are major plot characters, he doesn't like that. He takes very much exception. He actually told me how he would rewrite every one of the movies and how they should have done it. You know, like one of his favorite characters is Rogue, which is a character that he created himself. Another one of his characters is Cyclops or Scott Summers. He didn't create him, but he had a lot to do with as far as his story and his character development. Those characters were very underserved in the movies, in every one of the movies, and those are major, major characters in the comic books, and they just get pushed aside. Now, for him, he looks at and he sees all these movies, and you know, it's just like a punch in the face, you know. And he wasn't. The funny thing is, and I said this on the stream, that Dark Phoenix movie just came out like the weekend before. Okay, this is his first panel that he has done since that movie had come out. That's the second time they've tried to do that storyline. He doesn't like either one of them. He's like, give me a break.
So he doesn't have to say I don't. They can do what they want once they buy the rights to it, I guess.
Yeah. But he was. I mean, I think he's probably loosely a consultant, and I will tell you a story. And I didn't tell this on my channel. I alluded to it. And if you guys started talking about porno, I think.
Yeah, we went in the gutter right away.
Yeah.
This. Hold on. So we're doing the pregame, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm telling Devin, you guys, or I'm just bring up subjects. So they're probably thinking, I'm like, so what was everyone's favorite porn when they grew up? You know, and then it's just like you're down.
So since you brought that up, I'm going to tell this story on here. This is
Okay.
This is in the video that's probably later in the week.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there and we're talking to Chris Claremont on stage, me and my buddy Tom.
Yep.
And we're asking some questions, and he just kind of starts rolling into the movie. And he gets to the movie X-Men Days of Future Past. And some of you guys might have seen it, and you guys will recognize the scenario that we're talking about. In that movie, in Days of Future Past, Wolverine, or Hugh Jackman, the character, goes back in time, and he wakes up, and he's laying in bed next to a woman, okay? He gets up out of the bed, and you see him from the back, and he's naked. You see his butt and everything. Apparently, Chris Claremont was on the set at that time, okay, when they're filming this, and Chris Claremont was like, turn around, I want to see Wolverine's penis.
Oh,
And Hugh Jackman was like, you know, he goes, I'm not turning around. Claremont he's like,
That's funny.
I basically wrote everything for Wolverine. I want to see his penis. That's literally what he's talking about.
That is. Oh my God, that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you. That's funny. That is funny.
Bottom line is he never got to see Hugh Jackman's penis, but he tried.
Well, maybe we can get Hugh Jackman on one day and go, you.
So he was a dick about his dick then, huh?
He's actually, he seems like a nice guy from what I read. He just doesn't want to show his penis.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at work, don't do that. It's
Don't do that.
You listen. So you actually listen to what the monkey says once in a while, Al?
I do. I listen to the HR monkey is Bonzo. He's told us his name. It's Bonzo, and he's come on board with us now. He's part of the crew. He's okay. He admits he has a problem, and he's cool with it. We can do whatever we want. He's cool with it.
Does
What
he know
happened to
his
Gigi? I was out.
Oh,
GGO's
GGO's still with us. He's on the program. I'm still working on a spin-off show, Ask GGO. It's gonna be this. All right. The whole point, I have to find like a little chair, and I'm basically gonna set up the dice on the chair and point the camera at it, and everyone's gonna be like, "That's the stupidest." No, it's gonna be funny. Anyway.
Al,
Yes.
I
Yes.
just
Well.
thought,
Yes, sir.
if you play Yahtzee, then all GGO's brothers and sisters are part of the Yahtzee family.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. As poor Midwest gaming and sports goes, what the is wrong with him?
That's what I think about myself every day. I'm like, what?
No. Hey, Danny and Grades and Cards, how you doing, my friend? He had a wonderful live stream today. You know Danny.
Yes, he does. He has great live streams. I used to do them, but not much anymore.
Yeah, why aren't you doing your live streams anymore? I like them.
It's because I don't have a camera.
Okay.
I film with my phone.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and then you got to get to the. Well, I enjoy your uploads. So.
Yep, more is on the way, coming soon.
Excellent.
Work's just been so busy.
So how is work going?
Work's good. I'm done for a few days, and the team comes back to town.
Now
on
you're
Wednesday.
with the AA.
AAA.
Sorry. Tell us some more about that.
I work for the AAA Charlotte Knights, the affiliate of the White Sox, and they just finished a series with the Louisville Bats, which is the Cincinnati Reds affiliate. And actually, I thought of you, Al, and I was talking to a Reds fan who was there, and I was like, man, I wasn't born, but I remember reading baseball history about Dave Concepcion, Tony Perez.
They had good teams in the 70s.
Rose, bunch of Reds legends. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember those days.
So what kind of at the ballpark, what kind of attendance do they get?
Thousands.
They get a good crowd.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah. I need to send you a picture of the ballpark.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful ballpark.
So that's the AAA affiliate, right?
Of the White Sox.
Of the White Sox.
Ron, it used to be the Marlins.
Okay, hold on one second. Ron.
Yes, sir.
Who do you know? I know you don't cover the baseball like you used to.
Yes.
Do you because you guys used to do incredible work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any? Are there any AAA players that we should have Will take a look at and give us a little scouting report next time?
No, because most of the ones that the White Sox stole from Washington for Adam Eaton have actually made them jump up. I mean, Lucas Giolito was there last year or the year before, and who's the Christ or poop Dane Dunning. I don't know how far he's.
Dane Dunning is right now with. I want to say the Winston-Salem Dash.
Okay, so he's not up
double A
yet, but that was the other centerpiece in the Adam Eaton deal.
It goes Birmingham Barons, Winston-Salem Dash, Charlotte Knights, and then
Birmingham, of course, is where Michael Jordan.
That would double. Is that double A, guys? Was that double A?
I think that's double A. I'm pretty sure.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to tell you, Alan, maybe like 30 minutes. I'm gonna have to switch devices.
Okay. When you do that, just shut down because what happened? Then we get seasick.
And then I'll message you on YouTube saying I need an invite again.
That's fine. I'll send you another email.
Do you remember Al, who was Jordan's manager in Birmingham?
Terry Francona.
Yes.
Really?
Terry Francona was his manager. This is okay. Mike, and we're gonna go. Michael Jordan got it. He went down there. He had a lot of money. One of the greatest basketball players of all time. He bought them a new bus. He paid for everything. The players loved him. Now, whether he tried his dream or a dream, and what's Jerry Reindorf supposed to say? No, you guys, you won me all these championships, made me all this money. You say, yeah. And Michael Jordan got it. For someone, and I've never disliked Michael Jordan. I don't think there's some people who actually dislike him now because when they compare him to LeBron. Oh yeah, are you kidding me? Michael Jordan. I was having this discussion with my friends at work. How many championship series did Michael Jordan lose?
None.
0.
Exactly. And I'm a Celtics and Knicks fan. I'm just saying. So and I get it. He didn't get there every year, but when he got there, he won. And the players now, they're great. Don't get me wrong. It drives me nuts when people are doing this revisionist.
I know, right?
Like,
I-
oh, he
I
couldn't.
agree.
Are you kidding me? Some people are like, yeah, they beat the Bulls. Ron will tell you the Bulls. Anyone would tell. They had a stacked team. That was a good team.
Yes.
Jordan,
Pippen,
Cartwright, Pippen. Then they
Rodman.
Rodman. Kukoc came a little later. They had
Kerr.
Paxton. Paxton was a good shooting guard, and
Ron
Kerr was another good shooting guard, and B.J. Armstrong.
Horace Grant.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot about Horace. They had a good team, and it makes me laugh. Oh, those teams couldn't compete.
Actually, funny thing, Al. Our
Yes.
manager now is Mark Grudzielanek.
Oh, he played for the Red Sox briefly.
You know what? He has a temper. He has a temper like nobody's business.
That's the one
But
that
guess, and then the Barons manager, hear this, fun fact. Omar Vizquel.
Wow. Go
I
ahead,
saw-
Ron. Hold on a second. Will. Go ahead, Ron.
I saw Omar Vizquel play up here in Burlington when the Mariners AA team was up here in the late 80s. Mark Grudzielanek was the player that Harry Carey post-stroke could never pronounce the name, so they'd be on WGN and holy cow, Mark.
Mark, it's like when I'm
Yeah,
trying to do those names with the hockey team. I'm like, and that's some dude. Yeah, that's
Gee.
My
Sabathia.
favorite Eastern European tennis player, Ivana Skrimalata.
Skrimalata.
Perfect.
Midwest Sports is in the chat. He says MJ is the GOAT. I assume he means greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's
Not
go.
the
Hold on a second. Will.
creature.
Let's get back to Travis and Sam. They were kind enough to come on. That was awesome. So we're gonna talk a little Comic-Con. I interrupted just because that's what I do.
Well,
And,
first thing first, I want to real quick about Michael Jordan.
Yes.
I want to tell Michael Jordan thank you. Because of him, my 2 kids were born. And you know, I will tell this story. I met the mother of my 2 children because of Michael Jordan. I met her in high school. She had a binder. On her binder was a picture of Michael Jordan. I was a huge fan, and that's why I went and talked to her, because she had a picture of Michael Jordan on her binder.
Wow.
And out of that, you got 2 lovely children. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and
Named Michael and Jordan.
And because of that, I also got a really bad divorce. So thank you for that, also, Michael Jordan.
So there's a little yin and there's a little yang.
How did Michael Jordan get a bad divorce too?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He's been through a few of those.
So let's get back to the Comic-Con you're at, because how was it? I mean, I watched, so I know, but the people in this chat probably, you hosted a couple of panels, and he had to, you want to talk about, I can't remember, a guest is supposed to show up, and it's him and his friend, and they're going to be on the panel, and the guest is late. And go ahead and tell that, because that was my favorite story, that one. I love that one. So
Well, there was 2 different panels. There was the first panel, and that was just me. I hosted that myself, and there was 2 artists. It was Scott Williams and Alex Sinclair, and that one came up first. So I did that one. I've never done a panel before. This is all new to me, but I wasn't going to say no to doing it. And then the second panel came up, and that was the one with Chris Claremont. That's the gentleman who's responsible for X-Men.
yep.
That's when my friend Tom, he does a YouTube channel, Comic Tom 101. He had asked if he could join me as well. I said, we'll find out. And sure enough, it was okay with them that he joined me. So we're up on stage, and we're trying to get everything situated, and where the Chris Claremont's going to sit and everything. And Chris Claremont is running late. You know, he's stuck at his table. He's doing autographs and stuff. And as time goes on, there's more and more people coming into the room. And before I know it, there's 100 or so odd people just sitting there waiting for Chris Claremont. And I look at my buddy Tom, and I said, we got to do something, because people are getting antsy. So I grab the microphone, I get up there, and I just start rolling. I go into, like I said, I called it full Bueller mode. That's my channel, Comics with Bueller. And I'm like, how's everybody doing? And welcome to the Washington State SummerCon. Is everybody having a good time? And have you gotten a chance to see everybody? And then my buddy Tom, he gets on there and he starts rolling, and we look at each other and we're like, yeah, we can do this. This is not a problem.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's
And-
so cool.
Yeah, we got the crowd going. Claremont showed up. You know, by that time we were totally loose and ready for him to show up and everything. We were a little intimidated by him because he is such a legend to us, and he means a lot to us comic book guys. Like I said, he's on the Mount Rushmore of comic book creators. You know, there's the ultimate, like Stan Lee would probably be the ultimate, and a couple other guys like Kirby and Ditko. And then right there is like Claremont and Neil Adams and stuff like that. I mean, he's right there. And then here we get a chance to host a panel to ask some questions. And I looked at my buddy Tom when we were done, and I said, you know what? I go, we've done some stuff like live streams together like this, you know, but we've never actually done anything together in person. And I told him, I said, you know, the very first thing that we ever do together, and we host a panel to one of the legends in the industry, I go, that's a good first thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a bucket list thing. That's definitely
that's
a bucket list
thing. Exactly.
The other cool thing is there are people at the, and then we're going to compare the two cons, which is going to be fun because this is, I got to get them against the first one, because the best part is when we were talking, he had before when he went to that one last or whenever it was, he goes, yeah, before he came on, right? He's like, yeah, they're not going to have me back. I'm pretty sure of that.
Not getting invited back.
So, but what was really cool is there were people who went up to him, right? It was at the Comic-Con, I think it was. If I mess it up, just tell me where it was. I think it was, they go, hey, you're Bueller. They go, hey, you're Bueller. That's awesome. That is just so freaking cool.
Well, I call it limited celebrity. It's my celebrity is limited to two things: Comic-Cons and comic book shops. Everywhere else, nobody has a clue who I am, and I'm okay with that. But most of the time, and Sam, I mean, this gentleman right here, Sam, I met him because he watched my videos.
That's right.
He was in the shop, and he goes, and the shop owner was like, "Oh, why are you here today?" And Sam goes, "Oh, I watched this video. This guy, Comics with Bueller. He talks about your shop." And the shop owner goes, "Oh, you mean that guy right over there?" And
That is cool.
Sam.
Yeah. So again, why I love everyone on here. If I don't love you, you're not coming on here. It's very
Now,
simple.
I take great pride in being a Z-list YouTube star.
Listen, Uncle Ron, you do a wonderful job. OG is in research mode. OG, listen, when OG does his women's, first of all, he's very knowledgeable about the military thing. When he does his women wrestling thing, I'm like riveted. I have my bowl of popcorn, an alcoholic beverage, and I'm rooting for the dominatrix. This
See,
imaginary.
I got to get back to that because Play.com just is getting ready to release their 20th anniversary edition of Face to the Mat.
Ooh.
So I'm really looking at getting the new. Not much has changed. They changed how the deck works a little bit. The book is a lot bigger and it's got tabs in it now, so you can find stuff easier. It's mostly the same rules, but yeah, it's like I heard that the other day. It's like, yeah, I got to get back to the rest.
Oh, it's so much fun. I get it. That's not your niche, but it's fun.
It is. It's a lot of
I
fun.
love it.
It exhausts me. It really, truly does exhaust me.
I did a little bit of it for like 3 because I found that there's a free wrestling game. It's on the channel. If you can do the card and use your imagination, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I made Christopher Walken, Stan the Lariat Hansen's manager because of cowbell, and I did the whole more cowbell thing. If you know Christopher Walken, it's kind of funny. I thought it was funny. Everyone on the panel.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Okay. Sam's Tangled Web. You know what, Sam? Tell us about your channel. I am sorry I did not say that to begin with.
Well, I have a channel called Sam's Tangled Web. Basically, I've been on YouTube for 13 and a half years. Pretty much this past year and a half has been quite a ride with this guy here, and I've really gotten back into comic book collecting and doing videos, and been a lot of fun. So.
That's the end. I tell you, you guys, when I'm being bummed out at times, right? I go to YouTube to watch the people I like. Ron Juckett. Devin's funny because he'll do his videos, and I do it like it's a live because he records. And he must hate me because I'm sitting there going, and I'm typing, I'm watching, I'm typing, I'm watching, I'm typing, or I'm listening, and then I run to, and
That's why I don't bother to respond until after you
Yeah.
done your first one. And
I'm like
all
this. I feel like a jilted lover. I sent you a message. You have not responded to me. But I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had someone last week watched a game I had done a couple days before and thought, honest to God, he thought that the comments were live. And so I'm seeing these things flying on the bottom right hand part of my screen. And I'm not responding. I mean, he had a question, and I usually go through once or twice.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Ron. Thanks.
And I go through once or twice a day to respond to things. So it's not someone I know. Unlike Al, who, if the Godfather sits there and says, "Happy Saturday," I wake up out of a slumber and go, "Happy Saturday, Al." Anyway, I kid because I care.
Yeah,
And when I looked up, he had done like 10 messages and was quite upset that no one had responded to him. He wanted someone else taken off above him because it was thought that was spending time with him and not the commenter. And I answered his question. I said, "These aren't live." And 3 days later, he responds with, "Okay, thanks."
Well, that's good. That's good. So the back to Sam and Travis. That's Comics with Bueller. If you have not subscribed to any of these channels, here's what the FOC is about. The FOC, friends of the channel, friends of the community. We have an eclectic collection. Did I say that right, Devin?
Yeah, that's
No,
very,
no.
very
Okay. So what we do is we support one another. You go, you watch a video. I'm not saying you watch every video, but you subscribe, you watch, you like, you share, and you share each other's information and stuff like that. So if you want to be part of the FOC, friends of the community, I see some new people in the chat. Subscribe to these channels. Subscribe to the other content creators in the chat, and they will subscribe back to you. We've met a lot of fun people, from comic books to I was in your chat yesterday, Bueller. There were like people out of the blue just subscribing to me, going because I said hello. I was like, "Hey, this worked," and they're nice. Everyone's nice. But back to Sam and Travis. So, I love that story. That is one of my favorite stories. How you met him live, and Sam does a wonderful job. And that's Sam's Tangled Web. Please subscribe to that channel. Please subscribe to Comics with Bueller's channel, Will's channel, Retro Sports Network if you haven't, with Uncle Ron Juckett and the OG, the original Grognard.
That's a great story. I've wondered if I would ever actually run into someone who was a subscriber just out of the blue and how react to that. And that's the best way to do that. That's the best story.
It is. I have a lot of favorites that, I enjoy a lot of different YouTubers. That's one of my favorite stories just because the other thing was, I think is it the comic book store? The guy goes, "Are you using that freaking app when you're checking out comics? Don't you go to one of the stores and they go, 'Hey, are you using?'" That was a great one. You had the creator of that app on, which was fabulous.
Yeah, I know the guy. And he was. There's an app called Key Collector Comics. It's probably the best app you can have if you're a comic book collector. Okay, and it's so great. So the guy's name is Nick, and he was on my channel, and we did a video promoting his app. Okay, and then he posts the video on the app. So like you could go to his app and you click a little button, and I pop up on the screen, and I'm at a comic shop, and I'm going through and finding books that are on the app that are keys, and the comic shop has them underpriced. And they noticed me using the app, and they go, "Oh, are you using that app?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "You mean this app that I'm on right here?" Here, I pop up on the video. He's like, "Oh my god, never mind." So
now that is just that's another one of my favorite funny stories. I like.
What are
that.
the channels called? Their channel. I'm sorry, Sam and Travis. What's your channel? I'm looking. Them up
That's
right
Comics with Bueller. If you go in the link, right? I mean, if you go in the chat, just find their names, click on it, and subscribe. Will, thank you.
now. Okay, I got you.
No problem. But so that is one of my favorite stories. And you again, OG's like, for God's sakes, don't go back to the beginning. I'm going back to the beginning. So that was just awesome. That was awesome.
I would tell Allie, it's kind of bizarre for me to meet people, that watch the channel, and like at the Comic-Con, like I said, it's limited celebrity type thing, and I literally, there's about 50 or 60 people that recognize me.
That's still pretty cool.
That kept coming up to me and say, "Oh, I watch your show. I watch your show." And I mean, I look at I try to put it in perspective to where, for one, where I'm at, I was at Puyallup, Washington, and I mean, he knows it's not a very big place, Devin, and and to be recognized like that many times, I was really taken back that it was. But then I go back and I look at my videos, and I have almost like 6,000 subscribers, but that doesn't mean it's just 6,000 people that have watched. I have like almost 500,000 views, and those
Congrats.
are different people that have watched. There's a big variety, because not only half of my videos are people watch who are subscribed. The other half are not subscribed.
Right.
To my videos. I looked at one of my videos recently that had like 4,000 views, and the analytics broke it down. 52% were subscribed and 48 weren't, type thing. And so it's like, oh, okay. So I don't. A lot of people watch it, type thing. So it's really weird to me I never know what to say. When they're like, "You're Bueller," I'm like, I guess I am. So
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on the weekday.
No, keys are good. That is just your channel. What makes your channel so much fun is it's positive. I'm not going to go back to other things, but you did a video that was absolutely awesome, and regarding about negative stuff. And if you've ever watched me, I can be negative at times. But that
negative.
I'm sorry.
Porn is not negative.
No, it's not. It's educational. I said that.
Educational.
I said that at work. I said it's educational. Okay. And they said, "How does this help our business?"
Hey, boss, this is educational.
I'm looking up power tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Al, screws are screws.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
I work for a hardware chain in the corporate office. So. Now you know why they don't let me do I came up with a great ad, and they're like,
No, not this guy again.
so but yeah, I'm just happy to have everybody on. So OG, you're researching for Lock and Load, correct?
Lock and Load Tactical from Lock and Load Publishing.
And again, if you weren't last week, you told us, I believe.
Yeah, last week,
which was awesome. Made me I knew something was up. You told me kind of something. You told us a little offline, but before that, in just in the Discord, just good, something good. I'm going to share something, and that is, I'm so happy for you. So, how much research do you have to do when it comes to? You're researching to get things. What the tactics possibly?
Well, no, when it comes down
units
to scenario research, really what you're looking for is trying to find exciting battles that people would be interested in replaying on a tactical level, squad and individual vehicle level. But once you've discovered what units or what the battle is, then you got to go in and find out what units were there. I mean, you don't have to, but a lot of us gamers are also historians, so we kind of geek out on that history type stuff. I know I do. And since I come from a background coming from Advanced Squad Leader, which is probably the most anal when it comes to rules depth, historical accuracy, and tacticalness, I know a lot of the fans in ASL double, triple, quadruple check anything that's published. for Advanced Squad Leader, and that was what I originally was doing my projects for back 10 years ago when I first started designing all this stuff. It was for Advanced Squad Leader, so I knew I had to get it historically accurate, or I was going to get lit up one thousand.
In like the forums and stuff, or
no, it was, and honestly, if your stuff isn't historically accurate, they're not going to buy it. So,
no, right?
You know,
So you don't want Al, you don't want me to help you because like Devin, let's put spaceships in here, laser cannons. Let's add some stormtroopers.
You know, it's fine. I'll do a space game later. Let me do the World War
They
stuff
didn't
first.
have nuclear weapons at Gallipoli? I don't understand.
They probably wouldn't have used them properly at Gallipoli.
I'm sure they would have.
were really small ones. Let's put it that way. So for the research, and since how do we explain it? When it comes to tactical level or any war gaming, you either have historically accurate maps, which are actual taking shots of the battlefield, putting it to whatever the proper scale is. So this wall was right here, this building was right here, this hill was right here. Or you go with what's known as geomorphic maps, which are just good representations. They're not historically accurate. Lock and Load Tactical is a little bit easier to work with than a lot of stuff with Advanced Squad Leader, because they don't really go for a lot of historical maps. I can use these geomorphic maps. So I just need to have maps that represent the area. That doesn't have to be 100% perfect. The original stuff I was doing was pure on historical, and I had to have the maps dead on for that. I mean, that was the big thing, and that was probably what the biggest chunk of my research was, because as I've said before, the Germans were fastidious about records of everything, and they were also just as anal about destroying everything. So trying to find historically accurate maps for rural Russia in 1942 that weren't Stalingrad or Rostov or any of the big battle locations did not prevail easiest.
Can you?
Did
you use like old maps to try to?
I had to.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
I mean, I got the basic layout just by using Google Maps because it's right on the riverbank, right there. Those two villages over in Russia are still there.
So how do you? Now, are you breaking that into the hexes too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that one I had to make up all the maps myself because, again, being a historical map, I had to design the map on my end because I was designing the entire module. For this one that I'm working on for Lock and Load, I don't have to design as many maps, but I do have to come up with a few maps just because when David wants us to put out modules, he wants new maps in it, mostly because it's going to force people to buy the modules so they can't just pirate it and use the previous existing maps. So that's perfectly understandable.
Awesome.
I don't mind that. But yeah, the historical aspect, probably 4 to 6 months of me just researching the terrain and trying to get the maps. And since it was focused on a Spanish unit, Spanish 250th Infantry Division, I was going to Spanish search engines. I was contacting, Spanish historical societies. So that was what the biggest chunk of my research time was. The units that fought, the personnel that were there, their orders of battle, I had all that. That was no problem. It was just I needed the maps. So, but this new project, I'm not doing it. It's historical, but it's not historical maps. I don't have to worry about the maps. I just have to make sure that the maps are okay. This looks like this would what the terrain would be in this area during this fighting, but I still need to get the units correct. And it's like, so for this most recent scenario I was researching, I'm probably boring half a dozen people. You probably
no, it's interesting to me.
Yes,
I like this
normal people. So the most recent scenario.
Are you saying I'm not normal? Well, disregard.
None of us are normal, Al.
No.
We're all mad around
I just have to tell everyone, I clicked on something. Usually when you talk, like
But you did.
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it back. So if you see like I say, oh yeah, no, and then oh yeah, okay, that's not okay, yeah, oh, and I'm clicking around trying to figure out how, like when you talk, it should pop up. But I clicked on something because Al was like, "What does this do?" And I shouldn't have done
shiny button.
Yes, shiny button. So go ahead, Devin. So I'm going to click when someone starts talking. I'm just going to click on you because I don't know how to get rid of it.
That was her name, Shiny Button.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
All right, I got to figure this out. Hold on. How do I?
Hey, Devin, Devin, I got a question for you. I'm curious.
Yes,
so
sir.
after you do all your research, like how accurate would you say that it is when it's all said and done? I mean, is it 100% accurate? I mean, it's pretty close. I'm curious.
My stuff or other people's stuff?
Your stuff.
My stuff, I probably put in the 80 to 90 percentile of accuracy. Mainly because, like I said, the first stuff that I was originally working on, it's real hard to get the exact layout and maps of the land because the Russians sure as hell didn't care about, something that was 100 miles or 1,000 miles away from Moscow and halfway between them and Leningrad. Oh, my fishy's in the background. Everybody see my fishy?
Your plate, is that a Pleco?
Yep, that's a Pleco. It's a common Pleco.
That's a nice size one. Very cool.
He's about 14 inches. This is
Nice.
C331 or 2, whatever the common is. So it's real hard to get 100% accurate in any type of historical simulation, with the few exceptions of the big battles like Stalingrad, Battle of the Bulge, Market Garden, where it's been researched 1,000 times to death, and there are a billion books on the subject. Rural fights and fights that weren't as popular and as common, and nobody really kept a lot of records of, and what records the Germans had they destroyed, and the Soviets didn't keep what records the Soviets had they don't want to give up to anybody, although that's gotten better in the last 15, 20 years. I would say most people who do ASL style scenario design would be in the 80 to 90, 95% historical accuracy, because those guys, a lot of those designers are pretty hard. Although there's been a few times I've come across.
I'm just going to interrupt 1 second. Does anyone know how to get it to go back?
Yeah, Al.
Yes.
Double click on your window. Does anything pop up?
Just me.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I did it. Someone else talk.
Hey, Al didn't break it for a change.
This
Al did break it.
This is me. Hold on a second. This is me going through a minefield.
Don't hurt me.
With a sledgehammer.
All right.
Stop. You've now gone from that Korean minefield, and your next step puts you in downtown Berlin, right? Remember that episode of Math?
Yep.
Yeah.
But even with the ASL guys, I mean, I've gone back
Thank you, Travis.
I was interested in finding out. And an example, this street fight, this factory clearing that this one infantry division was involved with. I was like, well, that's interesting because that's kind of in the area that I'm researching. I could not find even the existence of this infantry division anywhere, and I have looked. So sometimes not all history is history. And it's written by the winners, and sometimes we don't get history right. It's the way it is.
How do you balance playability? Because if you take the losing side, you want to give them at least a snowball's chance.
Oh, of course. And that's where the balance comes in, and that's where it's not exactly 100% historical. I may know that, all right, for this example, for this factory, the attackers had at least a battalion of infantry, and the defenders had like 5 squads. Try to do that in game terms. It's not going to be very fun for the defenders because you're going to get squishy real quick.
That's a great question, Uncle Ron. That is a great question because you're being historically accurate, right? But you kind of want to, like when you're playing the one I play on the PC, which I can't remember the game now.
Order of Battle.
Order of Battle. You have a scenario. You can't win the scenario, but you have to accomplish your goals of a tactical retreat, hold them off for as long as you can. So that's the way they deal with that. But if you're playing, you have to kind of give the side, whatever side who lost the battle. That's a great question, Uncle Ron, because
I mean, you can't do a Blitzkrieg or a Barbarossa scenario, design one of those, and I know those have been done to death without giving the Germans a chance to actually pull it off.
When it comes to there's a difference between historical accuracy and playability. A good designer will make sure that the game is playable as well as being as historically accurate as possible. Does that mean
I'm just going to interrupt
down some troops?
Interrupt 1 second. Will, when you walk away, please, shut the camera off, buddy. It's only because what happens, it goes to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's okay. No, that's all right, buddy. I'm sorry, Devin. Go ahead.
So sometimes that means trimming down the attacking forces. Sometimes it means buffing up the defending forces, because you want people to play your games. And if one side is going to ruffle smash the other side, that's not real fun. I have seen games where they've redone the attack on Pearl Harbor. Historically accurate, not real fun for the U.S. side.
Yo.
It's not real playable.
Yeah, but that one,
So-
that one, that would be tough. I mean, it's a surprise attack, we'll say, right? To a point, they kind of knew something was coming, but that one, yeah, that one wouldn't be. It's more the one like Ron said when they're fighting, like say on the Eastern Front or something, or in North Africa in certain battles where it could have went either way. That's kind of interesting.
Like
you don't want
Rommel or those guys.
Yep.
You don't want the Hearts of Iron 4 scenarios where fascist Canada takes over the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and itty bitty parts of Madagascar. You know?
I'm all for hypothetical and alternative histories. Hearts of Iron 4 goes way over the top with it. They're a little bit of a nutcase when it comes to their hypothetical stuff, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, so a lot of times in a tactical sense, you've got to really scale down the attacking, both sides' forces, mainly because you just don't have that much space to put that many counters on the board. A popular one that I know that they've done with this, or at least popular from Advanced Squad Leaders, is their first historical module, Red Barricades, which was going in Stalingrad, trying to take the October Red Factory, which was a tank production facility.
Yeah, they were still producing tanks.
Oh yeah, no, they were
That is
driving
going on.
They were driving right off the assembly line and right into battle.
Literally, the fighting's going on 4 blocks or even closer, and they're still spitting out the tanks.
Yeah, but I mean, historically, in just this one factory, and it was a good-sized factory, they probably had, 1,200, 1,500 guys jammed in there. But that would be well over, 100 counters, and you can't pack that into, a 12
It's a
hex
small,
by 8 hex.
small area.
So what you usually find is that you
do
divide
some sort
everything
of
by
a
3.
division, like a map, like math saying the odds were this or that.
Well,
That's how you.
Typically what I do, and what I've seen a lot of the guys in ASL when they're doing scenario, they typically divide everything by 3. So if historically it was a battalion worth of infantry attacking, they'll cut it down to a company worth of attacking, or
But the numbers come out mathematically.
Mathematically the odds.
Gotcha.
Sometimes, because there is no guarantees in odds. I mean, they say when you're attacking, you need 2.5 to 3 times the amount that the defender has. That's not always a hard, firm rule. Sometimes you need more. Sometimes you need less. And
Depending on the defenders and how well they're dug in,
and the supply of the defenders, the supply of the attackers, the morale of the attackers, the morale of the defenders. It's just so many variables that go into it. So to try to get something historically 100% not going to do. You got to fib. I hate to say that, but you got to fib a little bit to make it playable.
And now to go to like a little sports sim with Uncle Ron, he knows that when you, even in a sports sim, you can't there are people like, well, again, I always say this: if you want to have
your boxing game that the guy was complaining about.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't. That was one of the wow moments. I'm sitting there going, what? I'm doing a sim, but Ron will tell you when it comes a bit. There are people they want it and if you want it exactly accurate, you know what I say? Enjoy. There's a thing called Baseball Reference.
Yep.
You want it reasonable within okay. Ron did his 1978 playoffs. I know we go back to it because it's a really interesting, not fact or point. It's interesting the way it came out. Kansas City in 1978. We looked it up. I looked it up. Ron looked it up a little late. They lost a lot of close games. So when you're doing when he did the replay,
well, preface that they went 4-12 in reality, and in my replay they were 10-6 in the wild card.
Right, but they lost a lot of close games. You turn around and you win some of those close games in a sim situation. It's plausible.
Well, here's a more recent example. We did that 70s tournament for Dave Little. Final start tomorrow, by the way, 4:00. Be there. and it's I mean he picked all the teams, and so it was heavily slanted for the 75 Reds to just kick ass and take names and win the damn thing, and that was fine. That's what he wanted. And the first game they play is it's a best of one. Okay, it's a 1-game elimination playoff, and the first game is against the 73 Mets, who won what? They were 82 and 78.
Yeah, they basically won the East with a couple of games over 500. That was a really crappy division that year.
They could not hit their way out of a wet paper bag. Okay, I mean they were god awful, but they had Tom Seaver, and in a 1-game playoff, Tom Seaver against Gary Nolan, guess who's going to win? And so this was all, the best laid plans of mice and men. The Mets won the ball game.
Yep.
And could that happen? Of course it could happen.
We can go back. You know why it could happen? Because in 1973, who did they beat in the National League Championship Series?
The Cincinnati Reds.
That's right. And Reds were heavily favored to crush them. And the Mets beat them.
So point being that, I mean, yes, you look at the 75 Reds considered to be one of the greatest teams of all time, and the lowly New York Mets who got in because everyone else choked on cactuses, and anything can happen on one given day.
That's right. The other thing,
true.
The other thing about the 75 Reds and even the 76 Reds, juggernaut team, their pitching was okay.
The starters weren't great.
No, that's what's amazing how they won. Sparky did a real good job managing the pitching and the pitching coach, because you look at their starters and you're like, and they're not bad. I'm just saying they're not, for the amount of games that they won, you would think, you had juggernauts, and they didn't. You can look at the 1971 Baltimore Orioles, right?
420-game winners.
420-game winners. They lost again. Pittsburgh was good. They made it to the World Series, but they lost, right? You would think the Reds had that. They don't. They have like guys who were 14-9, 12-4. They just, that's the way they did it.
To get back to where Devin was talking about, I mean, you need to have some plausibility in any given scenario. So if you're doing like the American Revolution, there's got to be a chance the British are going to win, and we still have team time every day. I mean, if you sit there and you know what's going to happen before it starts, why are you bothering to play?
Even though I don't do sports sims or war sims, there are so many what if scenarios you have to account for. You can't just be like, oh, there's none. There are so many.
I've tried to, and you're right. I try to do I'm creating a football game. Just because it's statistical. I change my mind more times, but what Will just said, when I think I got something down, I'm like, because you have to put in, the aspect of a turnover. And there's a lot, and there's more with a military sim. Like you said, and we're going to get off the stuff. I know Devin thinks you're boring. I like it. It's my show. So that's what we're doing.
It's my show. I run the network.
Yeah, I run the network. That's why. Then Devin's going, and that's why our ratings suck.
What are you talking about? Our ratings
no, Devin,
are great.
I actually like the stuff too.
It is very interesting because same thing when we had Anthony on about creating a game. I find it fascinating. So I like you said, you can't do the exact numbers. So I'm figuring, well, they must do it mathematically, even if they bring it down to whatever sort of level mathematically. Like say it should be 3-1. They're going to bring it down to a 3-1 level. And then Rob brought up a great point. You got to make it that the side that lost can sort of have a chance to win.
It's funny because, even if you try to have the same scenario that happened in real life, if you try it 1,000 times, I guarantee I'm going to say this is really steep, but 90% of the time, you won't get the same result that happened in real life.
Exactly.
Well, that could happen, but I'll tell you this, Will. Devin did the scenario with, again, the battle of
Carl C.
No, that was good. The other one, the Middle East.
Oh, the Abu Aguila.
Still one of my favorite projects.
Yeah.
Because he used 3 different sim engines, 3 different games, and it basically came out. Again, it's when you make the game, it is skewed for the victor, but it's an interest. Devin did a very. If you like to see how sim engines work, regardless of what you play, I highly recommend that because he did 3 different games, and by the third, he was sick of me typing in.
I never get sick of you.
So, but yeah, that's really a good point. But the that was really interesting. So
Hey, Al,
yes.
real quick, I have to step away. I need to go pick up my son from work.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Sam is going to stay here. I'll be gone
Absolutely.
for 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Sam really loves to share my deep and dark secrets when I'm not around.
So now this is what we've been waiting for. Sam and I have communicated. No,
I'll be back in about 15 minutes.
The
just
secret hour.
drive safely, my friend.
All right.
That is just enough time.
Oh,
That's
That's
just-
absolutely enough time.
So
Let's get
now-
right to it.
Now we've got the man, Sam Tangled Web. And so
I just want to say, has anybody else noticed that Bueller's got swag now?
yes,
Look at the T-shirt. Comics by Bueller T-shirt. What's up with that?
again, I'm a Shelvis. How you doing, my friend? And Tribes fan. And Ralph's Graph said hello, Will. I didn't want to interrupt because Devin was talking, but he wanted to say hello to you. So I want to make
Yeah,
sure.
he wanted me to talk more. I'm like, when Devin was talking, I'm like, dude, I'm just waiting my turn.
You do fine. We're gonna have you on. We'll pick the day next week. We're gonna do me and you movies. And
I'm
we'll have a good time.
excited. I am
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
ready.
So, and we're gonna get back to you. So, Sam,
Yeah.
because we got Bueller's. He told how you guys met. I want you to give us. It's the same story, but now give it from your perspective.
Well, I kept on seeing like these commercials on TV for this comic book shop, and it sounded really interesting. I'm like, this has got to be some really great comic book shop that if they got commercials on TV like this, and then I was watching YouTube and checking out this guy named Bueller on there, and he sounded like an interesting guy, and so I don't know, just one day I decided to go check out this comic book shop, and I went down there and said, hey, I saw your commercial on TV, decided to check your shop out, and and I also saw this guy named Bueller. He had kind of mentioned your shop, and he's like, oh, you mean Bueller? Oh, that's the guy over there in the corner. And I'm like, whoa, he's a big tall guy,
Yeah, he's a big fella. People, you don't realize he's a big dude.
He's like 6'4".
Yeah, and his nephew's a big dude too.
I got to meet him a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Did they get married yet?
No, that's July 8th to get married.
But if you had seen some of the earlier Bueller videos, he'd have himself. Now we know it's his nephew, and he'd have the person who hates comics. It was really funny.
Yeah.
But then his nephew didn't want to do it anymore. But it was just it was funny, and that's when his it was good stuff. So that's pretty. I know I go back to that story, but it's still one of my favorite stories, Sam. So
it is. Yeah.
So that's how you and I know that's how you met him. But then also Sam House sits for him when he went to see his daughter compete in a how can I put it? A fitness contest. Thank you. I was trying to. So Sam, and he did a live stream from Bueller's house. That was hilarious. That was awesome.
I think it was back in November or something like that. November, December.
Yeah. So Sam, what are some of the comics that you have found? I know you have your channel.
Yeah.
But what are some of what are some of your favorite comics? They don't have to be expensive. What is your couple of your favorite comics and genres?
I'm pretty much a superhero guy and a Marvel person. I grew up, watching some of these, Incredible Hulk, with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno, and
I tell you what, that was
that
one of my favorites in the day.
Yeah,
that one. That was a well done. The Spider-Man one was, even though I liked it, was a little. Remember that, Devin? And I don't know if Ron ever saw that. Remember they do the walking thing, and it's literally the guy is on the floor, but they make it look like he's going up the wall. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So Hulk's one of your favorites.
Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America.
Love Captain America.
It just kind of blossomed when I was a little kid. So yeah.
Oh, where is that? I want to show.
Will's finding something. Will's digging it.
Al's seen this.
Yes,
Look.
that is cool.
Wow, that's an old one.
Talk
It's
Will.
a
Something.
baseball one.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice.
I found that somewhere.
Now, where did you find that, Will?
It was weird. It was in a candy store. I
Really?
was like, okay, I'll take it. The woman's like, $5. I'm like, deal.
Wow.
Done.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is cool. And you have shown that before.
Sorry,
Now,
I'm moving a lot.
Will likes to get a seasick. Will likes to get a
Ooh.
You know what that reminds me of, Devin and Ron and Sam? You remember? What was it? SCTV Network when
Oh,
they
yeah.
used to do, when they used to do the 3D, the fake 3D. They go,
Ooh. Yeah.
when he does that, that's what it reminds.
I have a
don't-
habit of moving a lot.
yeah, it's the only thing. The only thing when you do that, I realize it's not the camera. It's you have to hit mute, I think, because it's the sound that
yes.
brings the thing up. I was trying to figure out, and when Devin was talking, I was like, I just wanted to, and then I'm like, I hit the button. I don't know. And then Bueller's sitting there probably going, and Sam's probably turning and going, Al doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, but that's really cool. I'm glad you shared that, Sam. All right, Ralph, this is going to be just a quick baseball. Ralph, and I'll turn it to Uncle Ron. He's our baseball guru. Ralph says, Al, can you guys give us your thoughts on this year's MLB? Ron, and if you like that, Ralph, check out ID Gesture because he's done these panels. But go ahead, Uncle Ron. Tell us about what your thoughts are.
Good top.
Well, you got some divisions that are great races and some that are already over. Washington's coming back and playing well right now. They lost to Atlanta tonight. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs, and the Red Sox need a closer yesterday.
They have blown 15 saves. That's awful. Matt, again, we'll go back and do the math, like half. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you won half of those games.
Yeah, I mean, do you realize the Texas Rangers are a wild card team?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, they're ahead
I
of
don't think
Oakland.
that's well, I
They're
could
not
hope.
that good.
They're not that bad either.
Well,
But
the Red Sox aren't that good either, and that's you get enough teams in there to drop down there.
That kind of makes me happy though.
now let's in Philly, Bryce Harper. His
Thank
numbers aren't that good.
Overrated beyond belief.
Absolutely, 300.
100% agree.
We had talked about this before, and again, I have nothing against. God bless him for making all that money. They're nuts that they paid him all that money. He is a good fielder who will hit with power.
No, he's not a good fielder. That's part of the problem.
Well, he's not dreadful.
No, he's not me out there in right field, but he's probably Devin.
Oh, ouch! Snap.
Hey, I used to play outfield. I'm okay with that.
He's probably better than Bryce.
But I'm saying I just still don't understand that concept.
I don't either.
What
it's
do you want?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Will.
No, it's a really interesting year. Like you guys are saying, home runs, strikeouts. It's crazy. Yelich is probably on pace for 60 home runs by now.
Did you see where Albert Pujols got a standing ovation in St. Louis for hitting a home run today?
Yes, I didn't see it. They talked about it on the I think it was the Red Sox game. Was it the pregame? They talked about it some.
He got a standing ovation and a curtain call. It's the first time that they can ever remember a visiting player getting that in St. Louis.
Well, he was very, very
he's a
popular.
legend there too.
Yeah.
So
they won 2 World Series with him, I believe. Right? Was it 2?
Yes, 2 because they lost 1 to you guys.
Right. So they went to 3 with him. I can't remember who they beat now.
Rangers,
Texas and Detroit.
That's
Yes.
right. And that they clobbered Detroit in that World Series.
I
I
know
think
think.
it was a sweep.
Dear Mr. Dombrowski, if you don't have a bullpen, you're not going to win. Signed the Detroit Tigers.
And I think the Texas Rangers was David Freese hit one off the wall.
Oh, is that the year he came out of nowhere?
Yep, hometown hero David Freese.
Texas was down to their last strike twice. And lost.
Texas manager Washington.
Ron Washington.
Was.
Oh, I remember that now.
I don't
Yeah, yeah.
remember who it
Yeah,
is now.
I remember that now. Yeah. You're right, Uncle. I mean, I know you're right, but it's I remember that now. You're right. That almost goes back to like when San Francisco, they thought they had the World Series. Who the heck? Now I can't remember who they were playing. It was with Bonds. San Francisco with Bonds.
Oh,
and
the Angels. Series.
Angels. And they thought they had it won. And I remember Dusty Baker going out and I'm like, you guys didn't win nothing yet. And they choked that game
Seventh
away.
inning choke in Game
Yep.
6. Yeah.
That was
Mike Scioscia was the manager of the Angels at that point still.
so. I think the season I'm a Red Sox fan. I'll comment on that. It's been disappointing. The bullpen, like Ron says, is god awful. They were upset again. We talked, Ron and I, before we came on, before OG joined us, and before we came on live, and. You know, you steal one the day before, a game you shouldn't win, and then you give one right back. To when you're a good team, you don't do that. You steal one, you get the one you're supposed to get. And I'm eating dinner, and I'm like, they have to score more. I just had that sinking feeling. Their bullpen.
It's still early in the season, though, Al.
Actually, we're about halfway home.
Because the All-Star break is actually past the halfway point.
Yes.
Now, there's also, I don't get, Ron, what's this new All-Star voting? It's stupid.
So I thought it was the same as pretty much. No,
they changed it.
Last chance players.
No, there's another. I got all right. I got to look that up again because I'm not quite sure.
Don't ask me either. I'm not sure.
I was going to ask you. Thanks, Will. Thanks for being prepared.
I got to.
Devin, what do you think?
I do football.
Devin,
I don't know much about baseball. So I barely can keep my head above the water with football. So I don't know.
What are your Broncos going to do? What are your Broncos?
They're going to suck. But they're going to do better than the Seahawks, and the Raiders aren't going to get very far this year. Thank God. So
Devin, I'm actually going to Denver in a few months.
Woohoo!
My grandparents live out there, so.
Yay!
Now, Devin, tell you how did you become a Broncos fan again? Share that.
I lived there.
That's right.
Yep. I was born here in Seattle, but in '71, my folks moved down to Colorado because my dad was helping my uncle with the farm. And pretty much about the same time, I guess, all of us started really discovering sports about 7, 8, 9. That was when the Broncos, the Orange Crush, the Morgan Moses connection in '77. That kind of was the rise of it. So I was baptized in Orange Crush and have been faithful orange and blue ever since, even after moving up here to Seattle. I think I stuck with Broncos after I moved up here just because I wanted to be married to everybody.
Speak of the Broncos, Devin, have you seen that creepy horse at the Denver airport? You know the whole story.
Oh, yeah, the one that talks. The gargoyle or the horse?
Wait a second. I don't know this. Wait. I don't know this story.
The Denver airport has been doing a lot of very odd, unique, weird. I mean, just Google it or YouTube it. They've got a gargoyle there that talks to you. It's a statue and it's computer run. And I think there's someone on the other side always monitoring. But you talk to it, and he'll talk back.
I don't know that one, but
okay. You know what that reminds me of on YouTube? I want to say it was from Rhode Island. They had a guy this is funny. A guy, how he didn't get shot, I don't know. A guy in a snowman suit, right? And he would scare people.
Yep.
That's the first thing I could think of when you said that. And Ron, I don't know if you've ever seen this. The guy would be sitting there, right? And people go by and you go, boo! And, they jump because it throws them up. And it's just really funny. He actually did.
I'm surprised he wasn't shot.
He did it to a couple of cops, and the cop goes, "Are you serious?" Like, they didn't jump at all. Are you serious? And the cop goes like this. He goes, "I could have shot you," and he laughs at him and walks away. And cop goes, "I could have shot you, right?" But because they're going in, and he would stand by like a diner, and he'd scare, But it was the best one, like the high school kids, right? They come by and they're like making fun of the goofy, and he's standing there, go, "Ah!" And you see these kids crap themselves. It was just funny. That's what that reminds me of. Who fucked that up?
And not only do they got the gargoyle, they've got this friggin' demon horse That's
Yes.
like plate metal and glowing eyes, and yeah, it's just they've been doing some weird stuff. Well, they legalized marijuana there recently, and Denver's always been a little bit weird to begin
The horse
with.
is probably on the marijuana.
Ron, do you remember this? It was two Pittsburgh Steelers players. I think one was Blunt, I believe. And so no, I think it was him. He went from the Patriots to the Steelers, right? And I forgot. And now they get drug tested and they fail the drug test. And they're like, wait a second, man. This is their argument. We were smoking weed in Denver. It's legal. And then they had to explain to me, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
It's against league policy. I thought that was one of the funniest because they're like, no, we were smoking it in Denver because they failed their drug test right after they were testing people after they went to Denver, right? And they failed their drug test. It was just funny.
do.
Some
remember that.
guy, I heard this funny story, it made me laugh. Some guy was telling me, big Oilers fan back in the day, wasn't born when the Oilers were around, but he said he went to a bar, sees Franco Harris, and he says to him, Mr. Harris, by the way, Renfro was in bounds.
Probably was.
And then Franco Harris calls security and kicks him out of the bar.
That's interesting. I don't think I would. If I saw someone like who was, say, a sports celebrity, I get it. That's kind of funny. I think I'd probably just go up if I thought it was okay and say hello, even if I didn't.
I actually have done
Like,
that a few times.
Say if it was Bucky Dent, right? I wouldn't go up and go blah blah. I'd say, hey, hello, Bucky, or hello, Mister. You know what I mean? It's just to see the person. You got to be polite. And then I probably go, can I tell you something? You ruined my childhood, you son of a bitch.
Fuck you. Al,
You're
actually,
a better man than I am about
Speak
that.
of
Okay.
Charlotte Knights, I'm
Yes.
going to try and do this for you, but some of you. Guess who's coming as a guest appearance?
Shakira.
I wish. Jim Rice.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He's from around that area.
Yes, he is. Rice was from South Carolina,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought of you. I was like, holy shit. old
You
Red
know who
Sox.
they had on today? Yeah, Nesson, and then we'll change subjects. Just and no one wants to hear me talk about Red Sox, but Mike Napoli still has that crappy, horrible beard. And my uncle
Really?
goes,
Ew.
"Oh, it's horrible." My uncle's like, "I think there's birds who nest in that." I'm like, "Yeah, I think so too."
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's way too. Ugh. Anyway.
What was it? The shots after they won one of those World Series with Napoli running around Boston shirtless.
Yep, that was the one the bombing year.
13.
Yep. So that was a fun team. I'm not going to go back to that, but that was a fun team. A fortunate circumstance, but that was a fun team, an enjoyable team.
I'm a
They came-
Yankees fan, but that was a great
We're
team.
going to mute you right now, Will. I've had enough of your Yankee talk. I'm just
Sounds good.
So, Sam.
Yes.
Any video games you play? Do you like any?
I play video games on my phone.
And
I play phone games.
which one is it?
It's not the same as like with a remote control and stuff. But,
That's all right.
Uh,
Now Devin
You're
and I.
trying to get him to admit to playing Candy Crush, aren't you?
Yes.
no, well, I have done that, but I mean,
We caught him.
I think everybody has done that. I mean, I don't want to speak out of school, but I'm pretty sure everybody has played Candy
but
Crush.
I've
usually,
never played Candy Crush.
Well, neither have I. I'm just saying other people.
I haven't either.
Angry Birds.
usually I play pool or basketball.
Oh, cool.
Pool's fun.
You know, it was a fun game. They had you wouldn't sound the virtual reality, not but before they came up with the virtual reality, both PlayStation, you had to hold
PlayStation
something.
Move.
Yeah, but the Xbox, they had like a sensor on the top of the game or wherever you
the
put it.
Kinect.
Yes, bowling. I'm telling you right now, that was one of the most addictive games because you sit there, you put your hand up, right, and it recognizes your hand, and that didn't sound right. Anyway, so was
Depends
this
on
the
what
hand?
game you're
Was this the
playing
hand
now.
that did it to you? And it's like that's the hand. Anyway,
Dead.
So-
Did that work with a Robert Kraft version of some of those games?
yes. That's going to be the next virtual reality. You play as Robert Kraft. You pick out your masseuse. You pick out your massage parlor. You go.
That,
Can
dude,
you do-
dude, they've already got games like that on Steam already.
I know they do. That's hilarious. I did not know that, OG. And I typed in, I was in one of those moods. I went, I wonder if they have games with like hardcore nudity. I went,
Oh no,
I
he's back. No, I'm kidding.
there he is.
I can't
There he
believe
is.
Sam told that story about you.
Yeah, it was horrible.
What'd you
Oh,
do?
terrible.
No, I didn't do anything.
No, he didn't tell the story. He's
Don't forget, Sam. Whatever stories you tell, I have worse ones about you.
all right, Sam, you got to leave now. This is like what the hell was that? This is like a newlywed game. So we should have Sam leave. That's what we should have done. And then
Oh, that'd be fun.
and then comics with you and go and it'd be like, and what was your first comic you bought together? And Sam would have it in comics. Be, oh, I Captain America.
So
Look at him go.
basically, you want to do the newlywed game with them.
That'd be
Yes.
fun, actually.
Yes.
It would have been funny. I just thought of it now.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I want to play.
You
Go
know,
ahead, go
I know Sam pretty well. I mean, his favorite stuff is Incredible Hulk. I know he used to watch
Boom.
that. You know, all Marvel like Spider-Man and Captain America. Obviously, The Thing. That's one of his favorite from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, tons of. You know, he's a kid of the '80s and all the '80s stuff that was going on. And
Late
And,
70s in there too.
then he has some other things that he likes that is just garbage. And
What,
I can't-
what would the garbage be?
you wouldn't even know. It would be like we go to comic stores and he pulls out this comic. He's like, "Oh yeah, look at this!" He's all excited. I go, "What is that? That is so bad."
Al, I didn't show
What were some of the? There was
Bueller the thing.
Marvel did a thing called New Universe one time.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
It's the worst.
I mean, you got YouTube.
Yeah, but what delicatessen was the first place that you made whoopee at? You know, I don't.
Oh Jesus! Christ.
Wow.
That was I'm telling you right now, Newlywed Game.
It was Marvel Express.
They had one of the. They had one of the. They asked the. This is you can find it on YouTube. It's one of the funniest ones. They go, "Where's the strangest place you made whoopee?" I know because I know this makes OG laugh because I said it before. That's why. And he's sitting there. He's being all camera.
I've seen the clip.
The clip is hilarious, right? So the woman looks and she goes, again, the question is, where's the strangest place you made whoopee? Whoopee means fornication, if you don't know. So the woman looks at her husband and goes, in the butt. And what the hell was the guy's,
Bob Eubanks.
Bob Eubanks goes, looks at the camera, just goes, and breaks out laughing. Now, obviously, that didn't make it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Wow.
It's but the other fun thing is like about the Newlywed Game, whether the old or new. The old ones were a little funnier. The new ones weren't bad either, but they would say these things and they go, "I hope my parents aren't watching." I go, "Really? Like, like we did it on the kitchen table. Like all of a sudden they're at the kitchen table and there's, your parents are watching. What are you
All that for a washer dryer combination. You know?
Yes. Yeah, they got shitty gifts.
Horrible gifts.
But they did get a vacation, I think, or something.
Usually like Acapulco or Puerto
Yeah.
Vallarta, and the washer dryer, and the year supply of cremettes.
The older I get, the more I appreciate the joy people get over receiving appliances like that.
You're right.
That's not where I thought you were going with that, but
I thought he was going somewhere else. I was prepared, and then he's like, he went into like, nice,
Normal, safe, non-HR.
What? I don't. Did the aliens take Devin? Who is this person? The other
I
thing
think
we
so.
want to do, but I can't find for some reason. I want to do this would have been great because of the people we have in the chat and the panel. We could have done match game,
Oh,
or the one was it match game or was it? Yeah, match game. I think it was the one with Richard Dawson and they had all the
Match Game.
bad.
That's him.
Yeah, I wanted to do. I got to find some questions there. Like I could
You
say
know,
right now.
tell the Friday shows because they were drunk off their ass.
Oh my God, they were hammered, and they had the best, risque stuff. Okay, in the chat, whoever's left there probably left, but what? Okay,
Unsubscribe.
I'm thinking-
all of us.
I'm thinking, Bucky Dent
Okay.
in the chat or on the panel. Blank Bucky Dent.
okay, I've got it.
Not yet. Just keep it.
Didn't hear him.
Blank Bucky Dent. Bucky Dent, if anyone doesn't know, is a guy who ruined my childhood.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
yours,
yeah,
Al.
I got it.
What?
Poor Travis, like
He's trying to do a
match game,
a match game.
and it's blank Bucky Dent. So I'm gonna write down.
We need to come up with the word that he's thinking of.
Okay.
Oh,
So but don't say it. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. Bump, 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 bump,
Soundtrack
bump,
provided
bump,
by
bump,
Al.
bump, bump, bump.
Can't wait to talk sports movies with you, Al. That's going to be fun.
Okay, I got my answer. Blank Bucky Dent.
I don't want to get talked to by HR again, but I'm gonna assume it's something to do with fornicating with a goat's mouth.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying.
All right. Now you, Ron.
Fornication. Fornicating. A form of fornicating.
Okay. Now you will.
Bucky effing Dent.
Okay. Now you, Travis and Sam.
And they're sitting there going, "What the hell is?"
I'm gonna say rub.
Well,
Rub.
bump, 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 bump,
I know
bump,
it.
bump,
Bucky
bump.
effing Dent. Oh, I know.
I don't think I get in trouble because it's backwards.
It
I don't
would
know.
end upside down.
Yes, it was.
That sounds like a sneeze.
That's you know, it's
That
like
sounds
coffee
like a
spelled
sneeze.
backward is EFOC.
EFOC.
I'm gonna get an EFOC out of you until I get my coffee.
Exactly. He ruined my trip. Actually, it's Reggie Jackson had the game-winning home run. But yeah, Bucky Dent. Do you remember Yastrzemski's reaction, Ron?
Oh,
That is.
Al, what are you
Let's
doing,
relive the
buddy?
horrors of childhood.
Leaning up against the wall.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
this.
Yep.
And then he pops out with the bases loaded.
Final
in
out.
knife.
Final out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
Captain Carl loves that moment.
Thanks, Al. Oh, Yaz bread. Remember Yaz bread?
Yes. I remember. I have Flutie Flakes still. I should go grab them.
My dad had a box of Flutie Flakes.
I have not opened them because they were like the
Well,
sweetest.
my dad's dead, so if he opens up the Flutie Flakes now,
Yeah,
my
but-
mother's going to be really in a pickle.
Exactly. But yeah, I still have my Flutie Flakes. I also have. I forgot who came out with it, but they Three Stooges beer. Like, remember?
Really?
I gotta grab that next time down cellar. I saved it. They had in one of their Three Stooges short. It was Panther something. Oh God, what was it called? And I have it. And then it's a Panther something beer.
Did
And
they make John Elway horse chow?
Probably. That Stooges are funny.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's Panther. They had their own brewery, or they worked for. It's like something Panther beer.
I used to have some mash beer.
Oh, like what they drank at Rosie's?
No, like a mash 4077 beer.
Wow, I never heard of that.
I don't think it was out very long. It was probably by the makers of Billy Beer and J.R. Ewing beer.
The worst beer I ever. My friend had a beer party, meaning bring a bad beer. Like, so you had to bring at least a 6-pack of horrible beer. The worst beer, and I'm not a beer drinker, so pretty much everything tastes bad to me as beer. But there's a beer called Hams.
Oh yeah, I know hams.
From Fresh Spring Waters.
And I think they actually put a ham in Ham's beer. It is disgusting.
Yeah.
Utica
That
Club.
is PBR.
Panther Brewing.
Panther Brewing, yeah, I have
From-
that.
It
Dust.
said it's from Utica.
Yeah.
Oh, that
was
would
it.
explain why it's so bad.
But yeah. So okay, last night with Moni G, we talked about.
I'm in love, by the way.
I know you're in love.
She's my future ex-wife.
Yes, that was one of the funnier comments you sent me. One of my.
Did he really say that? That makes
Well,
me
he sent it to
unhappy.
me. I wasn't going to share that, but he just shared it out loud. So,
You
So,
guys crack me up.
Moni, we discussed favorite Looney Tune characters. Okay, now Bugs Bunny to me is the all-time greatest character period of anything.
Hands
He could-
down.
He played a woman, Rabbit. He played first transvestite on TV, I believe, in the movies, possibly. I mean, he was a groundbreaker. Bugs Bunny. He played. Again, Seinfeld did that whole routine. Do you get all your culture from?
Classical references.
I really did. I related to that so much. You know, opera, The Hair of Seville. You know,
Bill and Magic Helmet.
that's like Wagner,
Bill and
right?
Magic Helmet.
Yeah, and then the classic bull ring, fighting the bull.
Here's a trivia question for you, Rico.
Yes.
What's the name of that bull?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ferdinand, isn't it?
Yes,
I think it's Petunia.
you're right. It is
Right.
Petunia.
I think it was
Ferdinand. You know
Petunia.
why I thought Ferdinand? There was actually a kid's book called
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
the Bull.
Yep, but it was Petunia
Well,
was the name of that.
Right.
one of the funniest, and they're all funny, right? But he does 2 movies or shorts with the Crusher. One's a boxing, one's a wrestling. In the wrestling one, he goes, "Hey boy, hold this for me," and it's a slingshot, and he's holding it. He takes this huge boulder and he goes, "Thanks." He goes, Barbie hits again. He goes, "Crusher, you look tired." "I'm tired. I'm tired." "Why don't you just lay down?"
Passing by.
Yeah, that's it, just passing by. But the other thing that you never say in a cartoon or even on TV anymore, it was one that they made in the 60s, and they based on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's actually really funny. And so he doesn't realize the doctor is the guy turning, right? And he looks at him, and the guy turns into the monster, right? And he's like, "You look awful. You need to see the doctor," right? And they go, he goes, "You, sir, are a mental case." It's just fun. And again, you didn't expect that. So many Bugs Bunny had so many great. Like, you can find this one on YouTube, the one with the hillbillies, the promenade around. Kick him in the shin, poke him in the eyes, twirl, twist and turn, kick him in the balls. It's just funny. Where he's the
Collar. This is
the square. It's just funny stuff. Whoever thought of that stuff needs to go right for Hollywood, because
Mel Blanc.
I know it was Mel. No, he was the
voice actor. You didn't write him.
voice
No,
actor.
it was
I don't remember, but it's good stuff. I like
don't
Looney
remember.
Tunes. You should watch them too.
You know what's so funny? I keep watching runs, and I'm way past the Looney Tunes age. But the Pink Panther, Inspector
Oh.
Clouseau, Pink Panther.
Oh, the movies.
And like animated.
Oh, the cartoons. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
an
there was-
aardvark. Yeah,
There was
My-
serious ingestion for those cartoons.
Yeah.
My dad loved the Aardvark.
The
Aardvark
Aardvark was
One
great.
of his favorite characters.
That was Jackie
Wasn't
Mason did the voice,
yeah.
I believe. And if you've never seen The Jerk, Jackie Mason has like this cameo in The Jerk, and he was a hot comedian. He was a rabbi. That's a true story. He was a rabbi, and he became a comedian, right? In The Jerk, if you've never seen it, Steve Martin, it's a funny movie, very off color, but it's funny, right? And he wanted to be in the phone book because the phone book meant he was somebody. And now there's a psychopath just picking names out of a phone book to kill, right? And he goes, "The phone book's here. I'm somebody." And like Jackie Mason's looking at him like, because he worked at the gas station or whatever. And Mason he owned it. And then they go to the guy who's a psychopath, and he goes, "Marvin, whatever the guy's name was." And so the guy's up on the hill, and he's shooting with a sniper rifle. And Steve Martin goes, "Hey, these cans are defective." Jackie Mason's going, "They're not defective. That human being on the hill is defective." And he's like, "Oh my God, he hates these cans." He's like, it's so stupid. It's funny.
wasn't the ant like Bing Crosby?
No.
No, sorry.
That's all right.
Who was
I don't
the
know who
ant?
the ant was. The ant didn't have that.
Ant-
Jackie Mason definitely was the aardvark.
It was a Bing Crosby kind of laid back style, though, Wes.
Yes.
So you're not too far off.
But that was pretty. Now the greatest Pink Panther line ever. Let's see if OG will get this. What's the greatest Pink Panther? Well, there's okay.
I got it, but I'll wait.
You wait. Bill. OG, greatest Pink Panther line from the movie Pink Panther line.
Oh, Jesus. I haven't seen a Pink Panther movie in 30 years, probably.
It involves Inspector Clouseau. He's at a hotel.
I remember the one time him and his nemesis got high on laughing gas, And
That
his
was
nose
that.
was
It's that
bleeding.
movie. That's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
that's Revenge, I think.
Yeah, that's the funniest one. Okay, I'll give it to you. He
Give
goes
it
into the hotel, right? Because he wants to get to kill that guy, right? Or capture him. And Dreyfus. And there's this little like doxing looking dog. He's looking, doggy. He goes, does your dog bite? And the guy's like, no. And he's smoking that pipe, right? The old guy, no. And he goes and this dog nearly rips his freaking hand off. And he pulls back and goes, I thought you said your dog does not bite. It is not my dog. I mean, it's just a classic
Not my
line.
dog.
It's
It's
not my
That's a
dog.
great line.
They had in that one movie, they had this piano. Like he's interrogating a crime happened. He's an idiot, right? And he gets his hand stuck in a mace thing, right? Like a mace, right? And he goes, he's trying to get it off. A mace, if you don't know what it is basically a chain with a metal ball on the end of it. And he put his hand in like an armored glove.
Gauntlet. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying to, and then there's a fly. That's what it is. He tries to hit the fly with the fucking mace, right? He goes, boom! And he hits the piano. And the guy's like, that was a Price's Steinway. Not anymore. You know,
It's John Biner
oh, John
Person-
Biner.
He did a lot of voices.
impersonating
Yeah.
Dean Martin.
Well,
Okay, that
Oh,
would be
that makes
Yeah,
similar to
Dean Martin,
Crosby.
yeah. The Rat Pack, yeah.
Yeah.
John Biner, Captain Carl, Bobby, if you want to know, that's Bobby. Yeah, John Biner had a show on Showtime. That's where they had Super Dave Osborne. Okay, and it was a spoof on Evil Knievel. If you've never seen it, look it up. You remember that, Travis?
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Dave Osborne. And he would just like the whole gag was for him to get annihilated in these stunts, and he'd be like, it'd be a stupid stunt dummy, right? And then they dub his voice, and it was just, like usually you got hit in the nuts or something like that. And as a kid, I thought that's the funniest thing in the,
It was the funniest thing. When you're
Yeah.
8 years old, that's hilarious.
it is hilarious.
That guy just passed away, I think.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Super Dave Osborne, and that's when you're getting up there in age when you're like, how old was he?
73.
Yeah. And he actually got his own spin-off show, the Super Dave Osborne show. But that was
An
a good-
announcer and his sidekick Fuji, who
He was
That was-
he was also on Curb Your Enthusiasm as like a part-time guest on that show, and he pretty much played himself on that show, and it was just hilarious. So I like that guy a lot.
The other. Have you guys ever watched the old Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
Okay. Now because they showed the clip. One of the most, I don't know if they did it with camera tricks, but the gag is he's at the beach and there's no place to change into his bathing suit. Like every place he goes, and you have to understand Mr. Bean's in a full suit, right? Or slacks and a blazer and his hat. And he finally finds a place, he thinks, and there's a guy there. He gets the most, he puts his bathing suit on over his pants, right? I still don't know if he actually did that or they did camera tricks, right? But it's one of the, he gets his clothes off while getting the bathing suit on. And then the whole gag is the guy's blind and he's like you couldn't see it. But that is still one of the most amazing, if he really did that, because he did, and in the Mr. Bean, he didn't talk a lot. He would
at
say
all.
one or-
I thought it was just like one of the.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. The dentist, when he went to the dentist, again, they kind of rob a lot. There's a lot of funny dentist things that go, like Three Stooges did one. Everyone does it is again classic. The whole thing at church with the candy, because it's all well, I don't know, but you kind of want something like and that noise. You're just sitting there going, everyone's like, he's like, then you drop it. But yeah, he's Rowan Atkinson, very funny, and
You
he
a
did,
Blackadder fan?
yeah. I was just gonna say that he did another show, Blackadder, which I didn't see a lot of them, but the one. Go ahead, Ron. Tell us about.
I've not really seen many of them, but it's kind of sci-fi. He just kind of goes in for one series, different points in history. So it can be, Three Musketeers for a few episodes, and Black Plague for another few, and 18th century for some. But
He usually messes everything up for everybody.
Yeah.
because he's an idiot. And but yeah, that's a funny.
Ron Atkinson's awesome.
I don't know why I thought of that, but I just did. So now it's gonna be we're gonna go to Travis and Sam. What is something you'd like to discuss that's not comics? Because OG is like, no more comics. He gives me those looks. I'm just kidding with you,
don't
OG.
give you any looks. I'm certainly
You give me that look.
right now.
When I started off, listen, I try to start off with porn right
Mommy
away.
and
Those are
Daddy
not the
stop
books I
fighting.
give you.
Listen,
Those I
OG,
give you out.
OG, I tried to start off with porn right away, and you went,
He's like, no.
Hey, have I ever said no to you?
You just did.
No, I didn't.
You said no in the
Nah,
sentence.
that's not what I meant. You can do whatever you want, Al. I may cringe a little bit, but your show, you can do whatever you want, and I will support you and back you all the way up and fight the HR monkey if I have to with you.
thank you.
You
So
are-
we're gonna go to Travis and Sam's Tango Web. What is the subject? And it could be, I'm just kidding. Because I said we're gonna do this, and then I go off on my tangent. So we'll go to everyone. We'll talk a quick subject. What's a subject you'd like to talk about right now?
Well,
We'll just-
I think I could speak for both of us on this one because the whole reason Sam is here is because tomorrow there's a pay-per-view tomorrow for wrestling.
Ooh, excellent.
Hanging out and we're watching the pay-per-view together at my house. So Sam and I are big wrestling fans. WWE or WWF, whatever you want to call it. I know, you've done some stuff on the wrestling and stuff like that.
I like wrestling. Here's the thing. Wrestling. They actually, if you're a wrestling fan, I didn't know this. It was Mr. Utah Mike, Sports Time Machine. If you haven't subscribed, please check out that wonderful channel. He's telling me, he goes, yeah, you pay $10, right? If you want, they have their own channel. I think it's streamed though, right? And he goes, you get everything. You get everything. I go, that's really not good, for if you're a wrestling fan. I like old school wrestling. So tell us about the pay-per-view coming up and give us the match you're looking for and how what's the shtick behind it, the build up to it.
Well, I don't think we're looking forward to any of the matches. It's been really shitty lately, to be honest with you.
Okay, did you watch the Gold? I heard the Goldberg was awful. Tell us about that.
I watched it. It was like 2 weeks ago, and it was the Goldberg against Undertaker, and it was on a Friday. It's their Saudi Arabia show, which are to date they've all been bad. Okay, they try to put on a big deal, and it just comes off horrible. But literally the Goldberg and Undertaker match, both of these guys should not be wrestling. Okay, in comparison to what the athletes are doing today. And it was atrocious. It was the main event of the thing, and it was atrocious. And then Sam came over. I go, dude, you got to watch this.
You gotta watch how bad this is.
It's so bad. And Sam's sitting there watching it, and he's just like, what is this? I mean, literally, they almost killed each other because they were missing moves and they were botching things, and one guy got a concussion, and it was just like, the other guy looked like he almost killed himself as well.
Isn't the Undertaker like 80 years old by this point?
Well, they're both in their mid to upper 50s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll let Sam talk about a little bit because there was one spot that I was like, you got to watch this. It's just so bad.
Yeah, all I know is that I get invited over to watch some crappy wrestling, and that was interesting of itself. But I gotta say I am looking forward to seeing this better wrestling tomorrow.
I hope so.
Now you made an interesting point, and I'll let you. I saw you hadn't say something. Captain Carl first in the chat says that's the WWE Network, $9.99 per month, has a bunch of old. That's what lured me a little bit. I know they have old school wrestling. Now wrestling's changed from when I would say Ron and I, and maybe when Devin probably follows it a little bit. I think you actually still follow it somewhat.
Yeah, I still somewhat follow it.
Yeah. So
it's not like it's the Hart brothers against the Iron Sheik against Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, but I still follow it.
But the difference of the wrestling that we'll say Ron and I watched in the day, where they put the guy in the headlock for like a minute and a half, and they're grinding, and they'd be like, and they'd say, "Oh, he's grinding away on the. Oh, he's weird." But you can go back
George
I-
the Animal Steel.
who frightened Ron as a child.
Yes.
And I love George the Animal Steel. But I brought this up with a couple of people at work who are still wrestling fans, and I'll occasionally follow something online, right? I said, and they're not Ric Flair fans. I like Ric Flair. Okay. Ric Flair actually adapted his style to become more. The matches became faster, more acrobatic. They are tremendous athletes. Okay, no matter what you think of it, right? And Ric Flair, I was watching an old match. He did the best. I still don't know how he does it. When he gets hit, he goes into he goes into that turnbuckle, right? He somehow flips over I get it. He practices, right?
Yeah.
He lands on the thing, right? On the outside. There's not that much space. He always does that stagger and he usually gets clotheslined or something. And I'm like, how the hell does he? Ric Flair, he adapted. Like Hulk Hogan had that one trick thing. It was his shtick. His wrestling matches, probably if we timed them, 8 minutes maybe if it was a big match. They didn't go very long, his matches. If you really the wrestling time of it. I'm just remembering back. With now, it's a lot of acrobat. That's why when they brought back Goldberg and The Undertaker, I was like, whoa. Now Goldberg looked pretty good, but you're right. And then someone told me at work, that match was the worst crap I've ever seen in my life. It's tough to bring those guys back because the fans, even though they like the names, right? Yeah. I actually went on YouTube to find when they did their little, the lights go out and he's in the ring kind of thing. That was good shtick. They did that pretty well. But yeah, the wrestling. Now, who are some of your favorite wrestlers now? Who entertains well?
Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Shoot. There's this. Well, I don't know how old this guy is, but there's a wrestler named Ricochet. He's pretty good. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
What's his shtick? Is he a high?
He's a high flyer type person. There's Kofi Kingston.
I've heard of him.
Seth Rollins.
I've heard Seth Rollins. Yeah. Now, does John Cena wrestle as much as he used to, or no?
He is. I don't know what you would call it. He's kind of semi-retired.
He went to Springfield College.
Yeah,
Springfield in Massachusetts. He went to Springfield College.
Yeah, he's from Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went down to, which is when I found that out, I was like, holy crap, that guy went to Springfield, because it's known for its physical education other things too, but that's like one of the things but that was pretty interesting. So is he one of those guys they bring out every once in a while?
Yes. Yeah, I'd have to say that.
Travis, who's some of your favorites?
It's kind of hard to say now. I don't know if I have like any favorite wrestlers now. I had some in the 90s when they were doing all that Monday Night War thing, and
that was my stuff. What are you talking about when TBS and Turner versus that was the funniest. I would watch that just to see what TBS would pull on them.
Yeah,
because they would turn around. They were They went to live matches on Monday, and they would come on about a half hour. TBS, right, Ron? They had those weird start times.
6:05, yeah, 5 and 35.
Yeah, so they'd come on like a little after 8, right? And they would come on. They'd do a couple of matches, and they go, "You don't need to go to that other network," because they were taped, right? This was awesome, and the guy would literally. We're going to tell you what happened in those matches. And they would tell you what happened. And that pissed McMahon off to no end. And that was when Travis just said that I used to just sit and watch to see what TBS would do to piss off Vince McMahon and then the WWF.
Yeah, there's nothing on right now that, as much as I enjoy wrestling, it used to be an appointment viewing. It's on at 8 o'clock. I got to go watch it. Now it's not that at all. It's like, I just catch the clips on the YouTube of the highlights of the match, and I just read something online to see what happened. I'll check out the pay-per-views because every now and then they're pretty good, but the athletes that they have are really talented. They're probably more talented than they've ever been. But I find that the storytelling and the time they give for the matches isn't what it used to be, and so they're not as enjoyable as what they used to be. So which is too bad. I wish they would. I mean, there's certain guys that wrestle right now that if they let them kind of build the match and have time to put on a good match, it'd be one of the best because they're that talented. They just don't let them do it. They're
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because their roster's so big and there's so many people that they gotta get on the show, and with that, everything's sped up and you miss things type thing. But I can't think of any moment in the last few years. It's like, oh man, I remember that. That was awesome. But I can look back in the '90s and I can list one after another that I can remember. We were watching. We were on that app just the other day, and I go, Stan, what do you want to watch? Pick a year. So he picks 1999.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, we'll do that pay-per-view. So we pull up this pay-per-view, and we're watching it. And literally, I went right back in the time machine, and I could tell him exactly what happened. I go, oh, this is the one where Stephanie McMahon gets taken out to the limo, and she drives off, and the thing comes down, and then the Undertaker is in there, and he goes, where to, Stephanie?
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's the one. This pay-per-view is 20 years old.
That was they built that up. In that time period, they did something really cool in that time period. I remember that time. So they had the Undertaker and he had his minions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is like the darkness, Again, it's old school, good guy, bad guy version. But what they did was fun. What drew me back into wrestling for a bit, besides the whole thing I used to just watch every time, right? With what did TBS do to piss off Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
If I think I got the time period right. They teamed up Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock to basically fight the bad guys.
Yeah.
And it was just really two guys who did, again, their shtick was they didn't like each other. That was great stuff.
Yeah. It was over the top. It was entertaining, and you really didn't know what they were going to do. And every time you'd watch it, it's like, oh man, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe they did that. That was awesome. We haven't had those moments for years.
And they used to do a lot of that stuff on the Monday night show,
Yeah.
where they built up. You're right. They built up that I know exactly what pay-per-view you're talking about. They did they built it up, and that was well done.
Yeah.
Be curious to see what they do when the new contract flips over to Fox, because some of those Monday nights are going to be on the big network and not on cable.
Now, that's a great question, Ron, because they're going to, Fox is a little more risque, right? We'll say, but will they tone it down? That's
probably not. I mean, it's on basic cable, but you're exposing yourself to a bigger audience than you would be for FS1 or USA or what have you.
Yeah.
It's funny because speaking of wrestling, at the Charlotte Knights, I think I told you, I don't know if I told you this, Al, but I met Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Well, that's cool.
He
How
was
old?
a chill guy.
Yeah, he had some great. Going back to that's cool. Will going back to Travis and anybody, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat had some great matches with Ric Flair. I want to say it was Macho Man Savage too. I think those are some. Again, a lot of that had to do with the build-up but Ricky could do some high-flying moves. Macho Man could do some high-flying moves. Yeah, he was a good wrestler. He was entertaining.
Well, I'm getting a wave off from the wife. So
Okay, Uncle Ron, thank you very much.
Have a good night, Uncle
good
Ron.
night, guys.
And remember, what time tomorrow, Ron?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock for Uncle Ron, the baseball game.
Good talking to you, Uncle Ron.
Yep.
Hey, I will say this, as far as like the 80s stuff, like the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and like Ric Flair and stuff like that, the difference was back then was, if you remember watching those shows, okay, just the regular shows, it was the star against what they called a jobber, okay?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what the matches were that were on TV. And then the big shows were the two guys finally coming together, the bad guy, the good guy, and you would see that on there. Now there's hardly anything known as a jobber, and you see these guys wrestle each other over and over and over type thing. And then they go to the pay-per-view, and it's the same match you just watched on Wednesday.
That's an excellent point, because I tell you what I miss, and I like when, and I don't know if Dave. Oh, I don't think Dave Little did his wrestling thing tonight because date night with the wife. I'm almost positive with that because I remember. But on Saturday evenings, what I loved about TBS, because I got to watch wrestling in the afternoon with the WWF, again, the Ham and Eggers, but they give you they would give you probably 2 decent matches of the next level up. And they were entertaining. Then you get the annihilation matches, which are kind of funny. Frank Williams, who never won a match. In fact, he was a guest on Piper's Pit, and Piper hit him with a coconut. You like coconut? Oh no, that was Jimmy Snuka, but he beat him up anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no. They always on a Saturday. This was the TBS one because they actually did it a little better than the WWF. And now they're going at it. Bueller and Sam going. But the Ham and Egger, they made the CBS. What TBS did with their Saturday show was, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make the Ham and Eggers wrestle other Ham and Eggers and make it interesting. And now this guy is going to wrestle for they had all these goofy titles, like the TV title. But they took a guy, I don't know what his real name or the name he used originally, but he was Disco Inferno, right? And all they did was take him and let's give him this really silly shtick, right? And see how it plays to the audience. And it played. And what they did, they took a Ham. He was actually just above a Ham, and every once in a while, I can't remember what his real name was.
I'll look him up.
That was his real name.
That was the thing, but he wrestled under something else before they made him the Disco.
That's his real birth name.
I think you're right, Travis.
Just kidding.
I know that.
Glenn Gilberetti.
Okay, but so he was he was just above a Ham and Egger. He was like in a couple of tag teams, but he's like one of those guys, Bueller's time. And they said what they did was, we're going to take some of these guys just above, and they even took a Ham and Egger, and we're going to make some competitive matches and give them these tournaments. If you win, you get to wrestle for the TV title. But I loved the TBS Saturday shows. I thought there was, and absolutely outstanding. They were fun. The WWF took a little bit from that. They took a guy named Taylor and they made him the Red Robin or some goofy crap like that. They actually built him up a little bit. Bobby Heenan took over as man after they saw. But yeah, they don't. That's a good point. I don't watch much wrestling. I haven't watched in a while, but I don't. There's no Ham and Egger shows anymore. So you're right. If you're constantly seeing the same match over and over again, so when you're watching the pay-per-view, that's a great point, Travis. You've seen it.
Yeah.
It's not like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
Yeah,
No.
you lose a lot of the build. You know what I mean? The big, what we had besides in the 80s, what we had was the superstars on Saturday morning or whatnot. Which is a bunch of the jobbers against the stars, and then every once a month we had the Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
And
That was WWF.
Yep.
They would give you some good matches, but what they did in those, they teased whatever big was coming up, and they were just starting to get towards like a pay-per-view. I think, and they would tease it. So you get this match. You didn't get a winner, or you got a disqualification or a cheating winner. So, great. Continue. That's a great. Yeah, I remember.
You either get a disqualification, or more than likely you'd get a tag match of like 4 of the guys that these guys are going to pair off against each other at a pay-per-view type thing. So it'd be like Hulk Hogan and Junkyard Dog against Andre the Giant and Haku or something like that, And then at the pay-per-view, it's Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant and Junkyard Dog against Haku type thing.
Here's a great one. In the chat, Captain Carl says, WWF used a jobber like Steve Lombardi and turned him into the Brooklyn Brawler with Bobby Heenan. Yeah, that was actually kind of fun because you're like, they took, and he actually won like some sort of title at one point, I believe, or you had a champion. But again, it's fake. I get that, but it's a story that made it interesting. It was the men's soap opera that made it interesting.
Are you saying wrestling is fake?
No, it's not.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, they do their moves. I'm
You're
just saying the
blasphemous.
results might be already determined.
No.
Listen, when I was a kid,
Blasphemy.
again, I
You
go
were a
back.
kid.
Hey, that snake really bit Randy Macho Man Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, that was not fake. That was real. That python was stuck on his arm for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I was
That's
crying. It devastated me so much. I was a crying little baby when I watched that.
I'll tell you something. You're talking about snakes, right? No, not porn. I'm just saying. So there used to be a thing on History Channel, Monster Quest, and they do all these goofy things, search for Bigfoot. I've talked about before, but they did a legitimate one. The snakes down in Florida, the pythons that got out. There was a hurricane in the early '80s, and they got out of these exotic. They weren't even supposed to be in country, right? And so now they have a problem down in Florida with these large snakes. And so they're showing you how they catch them. And this snake was about over 10 feet, but it wasn't girthy yet. You know, like they caught some that looked like they were out of Anaconda, the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, holy. I'm not making,
important.
yeah, I'm not making this up.
pythons.
Yeah. The guy goes, there's a couple of funny stories. The guy goes, and again, they get the call from the police, go show up there. Because they actually have two types. They have the guys who wear the suits, right? Not the suits, but, you know, like the uniforms. And then they hire, like, the guys who wrestle the alligators as subcontractors. I mean, literally, these guys, big dude. Like, he could be a wrestler. I mean, like, he looks like Hillbilly, what was a big Hillbilly's name? Hillbilly Jim or Haystacks Cal. This dude's a big, strong dude, right? And he goes there, and he looks. And, you know, sometimes you go, he goes, yeah, there's snake, but they're saying this thing's like, I think the quote, something was like movie star big, right? You know, like they're saying, like the lady's saying this is huge. So they show up. He shows up by himself. And he looks at it like, holy crap. And this guy has huge hands, right? And he put his hands together and he goes, this, and they show you a picture later of what he caught. And it looks like it's out of Anaconda. And he's sitting there going, and his first thought was, well, maybe it's a pet because it's so big. Maybe it was, well, maybe it's used to humans, right? He walks over and it does something. He's like, yeah, that's a wild. So now he calls the guy, and he's a big, he goes, I know I need, because this thing could, you know, it could kill you, right? So he calls his partner and he's having the conversation. He goes, why would I? And again, he's doing it with a Southern accent. You know, he's from Florida, right? And I can't do it justice, so I won't. But basically, his partner's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. Get down here. And the guy comes down. He goes, and they had to sort of like beep it. The guy, he goes, the partner goes, are you, like, the thing was you. And they got it. And it was a little struggle, but I guess it must have just ate it. And this thing, they brought it to the zoo. I'm not lying to you. I was like, holy crap. So now they go to the guys who wear the uniforms. We'll say like animal control, right? But they're employed by the state of Florida or the county, whatever. They're not subcontractors. So they catch one. And it was a good size, but it was not like huge, right? It was about 10 feet, but it wasn't the girth, right? And so they have it in the bag. And I'm thinking, I'm watching with the popcorn. I used to enjoy those shows, right? I'm like, don't take it out of the bag. It's going to be pissed. Even I know it's going to be pissed, right? So they're trying to show, the guy goes, well, how do you catch them, right? They take it out of the bag, and the snake decides it wants to go. I describe it as the snake wants to go home. I don't want, listen, you guys are weirdos. You put me in a bag. I don't know what the hell your problem is. I was trying to eat the dog. No one likes the dog anyway. And I'm going to go home. So it keeps trying to get away, and they keep grabbing it by its tail, and they keep talking and keep grabbing. The second time they grabbed it and pulled it, you know, because they're describing how it moves and this and that, the snake, I swear to God, turns and looks at him and goes, that two guys, and goes, I swear to fucking God, you touch my ass one more time, I'm going to kill you. So the guy, you have to grab it a certain way, right? So it can't turn. Because I guess if it bites into you, it has like, they described it as fish hook. It's tough to get it off, right? So the guy grabbed, and you could see the snake going, yeah, you got me the first time on your little cute trick. Not this time, asshole. He goes to grab it. The snake pivots just a little bit, so he can't grab it. And the snake looked at him and goes, fuck you. And went, boom, clamped on him. And then it started coiling on his arm. They literally went to they never tell you. I still think they killed the snake because they're like, yeah, we got the snake off and it's okay. I'm like, where's the snake? You know. But yeah, that's when you brought the snake thing up. That's the first thing I thought of was when I went down to Florida for work. One of our sister company, when I worked for a different company, we go down and it's funny because it's in Florida. And now I'm thinking it's a strip mall. It would have been funny if there was like a masseuse place in there. There wasn't though. But they had everything was corporate office except the daycare center. because it made money for, like they didn't get rid of that one. I'll never forget the first day down in Florida ever. I'm like, animal control was there. They pulled a freaking snake because it was near the daycare center. They literally, the guy went wherever the hell it was. He went under. Not that because there's not under because there's no in Florida. There's no like where we were in Orlando area. There's no like cellars and stuff. But he had it wherever it was. He went under something. I go, that guy's nuts. He literally the other guy grabs it right away. I'm like, that is crazy. I saw them like take a snake. I was like, that's nuts. How do people live down here? You got alligators, you got snakes, you got spiders the size of. You hit them with a hammer and they look at you and they're like, what? I'm like, oh shit. My cousin lived in Florida for a while. And I said, and he told the story. He goes, yeah, you don't kill spiders down there. And I go, why not? He goes, I made the mistake of I killed a spider and other little spiders came, like it was like,
They're like, you killed my mother. I'm gonna
yeah, he
kill
said,
you.
no, what you did was you captured it sort of and you just like sent it outside.
Exactly.
Anyway, I don't know why I thought of that. We were talking wrestling, and then I thought of that stuff.
Squirrel.
You guys ever watch Monster Quest? Poor OG's going, no more Monster Quest, please.
I used to like Monster Quest. You know what I
Love
used to like also was In Search of. Old Leonard
Yes!
Boy. That was great.
Now, have you seen the new
show.
one? I have
The new
not.
one sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still on.
I don't think they are.
I think they got shit canned after like 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, and the funny thing was the guy they had do it was
Spock,
the
the guy
guy
who played
who played
Spock.
the new Spock. Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, you're just trying to pull on Nimoy's. Yeah, but no, the original stuff was pretty damn cool.
The original In Search of was well done, and they did the Bigfoot stuff was always interesting. Again, whether you believe or you don't. Here's my point about Bigfoot. Someone would have shot one by now. I just can't believe someone has not found a big. I don't think there. I'm going to tell you how much the Bigfoot hysteria how bad it was in the late 70s, mid 70s to late 70s, right?
No, Al, you're talking to 3 guys in the Pacific Northwest.
I know that. I get it.
The Bigfoot's real.
I live
Hey.
in the South, and he's real.
Okay. Let me tell you something. I live in Massachusetts. There's no effing Bigfoot in Massachusetts. But they actually, the small town I live in now, right? I grew up in a city, not a large city, but a city. Now I live just outside it, right? They actually had the Bigfoot sightings. And as a kid, it's down by the dump. So when I moved here, I took my friend because we had to go dump some stuff, right? And I go, you remember when we were kids? He's like, yeah. I go, remember when we read in the paper? Because we used to read that crap like anything that said Bigfoot, we were reading. You'd go through the paper and they'd have like a world or a US view and is there Bigfoot in there? Because we were all into Bigfoot. And they had the thing. I remember when we were kids and we read it and there's like a little like marshy area and people said they saw Bigfoot down there. It's like, yeah. When I was a kid, my goal was to get a government grant so I could look for Bigfoot in my backyard. Because when I found out you could actually get money to look for Bigfoot, I was in. Now, OG, did you ever watch? There was a spinoff from Monster Quest, Searching for Bigfoot, whatever the crap it was called. And that was always amusing to me. Because they'd say stuff like, we might find him this week. And I'd be like, no, if you found him, I'm pretty sure it'd make the news. You didn't find him.
It would be front page already. Yeah.
But In Search of did a lot of the Bermuda Triangle was interesting. Yes, but the Bermuda Triangle, and I think you'll like this one, OG. It was the Lost Squadron. That was the most crazy thing. He's gonna have I guarantee Bueller's got some sort of Bigfoot thing. I guarantee you. I guarantee you that's where he went.
My favorite coffee mug right there. Come on, man. Right there. Bigfoot mug right there.
That's awesome. I knew when you went off because now
all over the place here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
But you also got to remember, Al, the Sonics mascot up here for the longest time was a Sasquatch. I mean, it's
No one's escaped the
I got something
Bermuda
else to
Triangle,
go
right?
over that. See if I can find it.
the thing with the Lost Squadron, they think the compasses got messed up, and they tracked it. They couldn't understand, like they were coming back, and then suddenly they did this, and they went back out, and then they lost him. And the weird thing with that, OG, if I remember right, they sent a search plane, the same thing, or they got lost. So that was really the bizarreness of the quote. That's really what brought the Bermuda Triangle back. Was that whole because that's modern times. It was just after World War II or
It was during World War
during
II.
World, and they're doing their patrol on the coast, the East Coast. That's that's pretty modern technology to turn around. And they got confused. They were in contact a little bit with command, and they kept going, no, you're going right, and they just didn't believe it. They go, no, we're going the wrong way. The compasses said they're spinning, we're going the wrong way. That was bizarre. That was really bizarre. Go ahead, Trap. Sorry.
Okay, so I want to show this real quick, and
Is that Bigfoot poop?
so Devin, do you know what this is?
Mount St. Something made out of Mount St. Helens ash. Yeah.
That's right. So this is Mount St. Helens ash, and what this is the salt and pepper shaker,
Okay.
and
that's
that's when the mountain blew up, and that's what came off. But it's made out of the ashes of Mount St. Helens.
Oh yeah. For the first couple of years after St. Helens blew up here, there was, and you can still find it in the kitchen Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Everything made out of ash.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
No
yeah.
one escaped the Bermuda Triangle at all, right?
no,
Because you get lost.
no. The Bermuda Triangle
It's
is the most famous of the quote unquote triangles. There's a lot of them out there. It has to do with electromagnetics. and
yeah,
stuff
it's something
like
that throws off. There is something that throws off the compass because
Didn't Earhart get stuck there?
no,
No,
she got caught.
Amelia
She got caught by the Japanese, I think.
Wow, that's one theory.
Yeah.
No, Amelia Earhart was flying over the Pacific. She wasn't
Yeah.
flying over the Atlantic.
She got caught by the Langoliers. I think it was the Langoliers that got her.
Yes, I remember.
You do?
Yeah.
It's the Langoliers.
But those were In Search of. What was your favorite In Search of, OJ?
I like the one when they were doing Noah's Ark.
That
And
was
on
cool.
Mount Ararat. And
That was cool. That was cool. They did do a lot of cool things. My
Yeah.
favorite In Search of was I like the Lost Squadron, but Nessie.
Nessie.
I'm gonna have to watch these.
You can find them on YouTube if you type in
they're
search
all
of
over the place.
Leonard Nimoy. Type in Leonard Nimoy, because I think they might have a. They
tried to resurface
a couple of times.
the series a couple times. You
Yeah,
gotta
so
watch
you got to watch the Leonard Nimoy ones. In fact, they had. I can't find it because I'd love to watch it over. They have an In Search of movie where they basically put a bunch of the stories together and footage that they didn't use. And I actually went to see that twice. There's a famous picture there's a World War I. I think it was World War I U-boat, and there's like, did Megalodon really exist kind of thing. The picture of a shark fin, and that was like, and you could see the guys on the U-boat. It kind of looks like they're looking at it, but I'm like, that's a bullshit picture. I don't know who did it. That's a bullshit picture. I call bullshit on that one. Then there was another one. And I think they said there was a dinosaur in Africa. In the Congo or something like that. That was kind of interesting.
And
So-
the Atlantis episode that they did.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean,
They
it
did some pretty cool stuff.
was interesting. I'm not saying it was just interesting stuff. Hey, what's up, Evengi Crosby? Check out that card collecting channel. Another wonderful.
Crosby.
That was I enjoyed that. That's why I like Monster Quest, to be honest with you. That was the closest thing to In Search of. Now what's Bueller? Bueller's going to bring in Bigfoot right now. He's going to literally go, we have found Bigfoot.
No, the cat was about to jump in the dishwasher. We gotta stop that.
Oh yeah, you can't have a cat in a dishwasher.
No, it just muck up everything.
His barefoot outfit's probably a Chewbacca outfit, but who knows? They could be related.
That's the Bigfoot. What was that? Mid 60s? The film footage, when it does the whole turn thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it was late 60s, early 70s.
And the whole point was they've broken that film down, right? And they have contradicting point of view because the guy said, no, that's a guy in a suit. And the other guy goes, they're full of crap because it's a guy in a suit. But
Yeah.
The
Well,
other,
didn't years later, and just a few years ago, they had a couple guys came out and said, "Yeah, we were the ones that did it."
Yeah.
Here's the suit and
Yeah.
everything." So,
because they said they had brought experts in. And they go, the movement was like of and the guy's like, we watched apes. We knew what they were doing. You know, like we kind of mimicked what we saw on TV.
Well, how would they be able to compare the movement to the real thing? It's like
That's true
the
too.
movement doesn't match the real thing. Okay,
And how do they know? How do they know that Bigfoot? Here's the thing: Bigfoot could be like very sophisticated with a pipe and just smoking up.
Yeah,
You know,
speaks with a British accent, you know.
exactly.
Gary in the Henry.
Chilling in a cave, be like,
I'll tell you the funniest things, and we'll get off the Bigfoot thing. The people who say they saw Bigfoot, and they go to interview these people, and they're like, Monster Quest had some of the best runs. They go, and Bigfoot wanted garlic. I'm like, so Bigfoot wanted to make some spaghetti sauce or something, and wanted garlic. And they're like,
salad.
yeah, and it was like, and they go, and the woman's like, and it uses garlic to keep the mosquitoes away. You don't see any mosquitoes around me. And the guy's like, no. His guy's eyes are watering as he's doing the interview. No, I don't. No. Do you use garlic? I do. Okay. Yeah. Interview over. You know, but yeah. Then they did another one on Monster Quest, right? Listen, if I saw a thing that looked like a werewolf, there were these 4 kids, you know, they're drinking or smoking something in the woods, right? And they come out and say, yeah, we saw the Wolfman of Ohio. I'm like, if I saw something that looked like a werewolf, I'm pretty sure. And they go, yeah, we chased it. Like, yeah, you chased it, my ass. I would have been going in, I've been really quiet and going the other freaking direction, hopefully. You know. Again, they did some cool ones with like bears. They like the guy who killed that huge bear, and they think it was like a breed between a grizzly. Imagine that's a night of drinking. A grizzly bear and a polar bear. And you're just sitting there going, whoa. It's like the polar bear's like, you look good, baby. You look good. Yeah. You know what I am?
The Coca-Cola bear, Smokey the Bear had a baby.
Yeah, they really, if that's what they thought it was, because, and this thing again looks like something out of a movie. The guy, he was hunting something else, and this freaking bear, he's like, holy crap, you know, and he shot it.
How tall was it? I wonder.
It was huge. You can look it up. If you look up polar bear grizzly, again, you're going to get the goofy picture. You know, it's always funny when you're trying to look up something, like if you say like largest alligator ever or something, there's always that picture of the guy in the alligator's mouth and stuff. And you're like, really? That's such, though there are some funny ones. I mean, the guy died. There was like a guy in Egypt or something or somewhere, and he was basically like an alligator, a crocodile handler. And he had fed them all these times. And then he's like dancing for the people, right? And he bumps into the croc, and it turns, and I mean, it's not funny. It killed the dude. It dragged, and the audience is like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't be dancing around."
It's a crocodile.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not making this up.
A domesticated animal.
And what they did was people broke down the film to see if it was real or a spoof, and they're like, "No, that's." And they actually found this guy fed these. It was like a tourist attraction where people would go watch him feed the crocodiles, and he's sitting there dancing around and doing all this stuff. And he literally kicked the croc while it was sleeping. It got pissed off, and it was on, and that guy was done. Yeah, don't be dancing around crocodile. I don't get that. I don't get that.
Don't mess with wild animals.
No. You just be happy squirrels are not normally aggressive, because squirrels would really, you'd be like. They'd be like ninja jumping on you. They'd be pulling wrestling moves that Sam and Travis would be awesome. They'd be like, oh my God, that squirrel should be on WWE.
Yeah.
The squirrels, they're quick. They're quick. You don't want to.
They are.
Did you see the news report that came down that there was some meth head down south who was feeding his pet squirrel meth to keep it all amped up to be an attack squirrel?
What?
That might be the most genius thing anyone can ever do right there. That should be our military. Meth
squirrel.
squirrels.
Meth Commando Squirrel Squad.
Yeah, we just dump like crate of messed out squirrels on countries that we want, you know.
That would be awesome, because it'd be like death from above.
Yeah.
Squirrels on meth. And they're like in the little like parachutes and stuff. And they're
rabies as well.
You don't want to mess with an angry squirrel.
That's our new Space Force. I don't know if you heard about that, but
I'm for it, man. I'm for it. Put little helmets on them. That would be Squirrels are, they're kind of ingenious, but they can't cross the street to save their life. They get really confused. Like they get 3/4 of the way there, and you're like, just keep going. Nope, they dart back, and you hear that boom of your car. I'm like, son of a bitch, really?
They're
they've got
smart
like,
and dumb at times.
no, they've got like an 8-second memory span. So they forget what they're doing all the time, and that's why they bury shit everywhere.
Oh,
Because
that's
they're gonna
funny.
forget about it, and
We have
they've got memories just
they're
about
God
as
they're
bad
God
as-
they're God's tree planters because they're like there's one squirrel that used to come in the yard. I think the hawk finally got him, poor little guy. But he used to literally
gotta eat too.
they do. He used to bury it, right? He was the best to watch. He'd look around, and if there was a leaf, he'd grab the leaf, put it there, right? Look around again, grab another leaf, put it there, and walk away. Then he'd go and he'd bury another. And I'm watching the squirrel do that. And then in the winter, he's like, shit, where's the leaf? I'm like, yeah, the leaf ain't there, dude. It's under snow. And he's like, then he'd come up, snow all over him. You ever see like the picture of the bear and the tiger, and they pretend it's cocaine? You ever see those memes? This is what the squirrel looked like. He'd come up, he'd have snow, and I'm like laughing my ass off. I go, then I go get some bread because I feel bad for the little bastard. And I'm like, here. He's like, hey, thanks. I can't find it. It was over here. Like, I know it was. This is the same squirrel. I would feed him, right? And then I've told this story. I was getting some laundry downstairs. I'm like, crap. And the dryer, how the thing on the outside, like the vent, it fell off because when they put the fucking dryer in, they didn't cut the hole. They didn't push it through far enough. And I don't want the guys to come back. I just duct tape it, right? Because I believe in duct tape. You can use duct tape for abduction, but you can also use it for a lot of other things. Keep your lawnmower going forever and ever. My riding lawnmower had more duct tape on it. I mean, my friend come by and laugh and go, why didn't you just buy a new one? I go, a new one costs this. You know how much this roll of duct tape cost? Exactly. So the squirrel's looking at me, and I'm like, hi, what's up? I'm like, oh, crap. And he sees the opening. I'm like, oh, God, don't get in the dryer, right? And he's like, I fed him. He's a porker, right? And he's trying to jam himself in there. I'm like, thank God his shoulders can't fit. Because they can usually contort. I was surprised, but I tell you, we used to feed him spaghetti. Oh, that was hilarious. He'd be like, he'd put his little hands. And the hawk got him, too.
The hawk got the spaghetti.
Oh, the hawk got the spaghetti eating squirrel. The hawk gets, the hawk, I don't want it to eat the neighbor's dog, but yet I want it to eat the neighbor's dog. That is the most annoying effing. I'm like, can't you just eat it's small. I mean, it's a little bigger than a squirrel. I'm pretty sure you could take them. Just
fly off with them, take them in another state, and we're good.
Kill him. I don't even forget the other state. I don't want him coming back. I want him gone.
Yes.
You know what
Mom,
it's like?
what happened to our dog? We brought him.
Do you know what
to
it's
our
like to go
farm.
out and do? Now that since then the dog's gone, it has passed naturally, unfortunately, but it did die.
Well, wait a minute. It died naturally, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's like you saying that I wish it would have died a horrible death instead of naturally.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that point. So I would go out and do yard work. I've lived next to these people for 10. Like at the time it was 10 years. I've lived longer here. And I'm sitting there going, and the dog would just. I'm like, are you shitting me? I've lived next to you and it would just bark and bark. I'm sitting there going, and one time, I'm like, I'm gonna kill this effing dog, right? I snapped, right? I'm not gonna kill the dog. I took like a cinder block because we were building something. I went, I swear to God, I hate this. And I threw it at I threw it short because there's a fence. And the dog, the dog like ran away and come back and barked even more. I go, oh, I hate this dog. I just hate it. I'm like, please, God, the hawk has, like Devin says, the hawk has to kill something. Kill this. It was the most annoying. It was a snipper too. Like you couldn't even try to be nice and make friends with it. You're like, But, oh, I hate you.
Speaking of like varmints, I've yet to still see.
It was a varmint.
I've yet to still see Watership Down.
Oh my God. OG, you ever see Watership Down?
Of course I did. I saw it when I was in grade school.
Exactly. You have to understand this movie.
We all saw it in grade school.
Exactly.
Only until like the mid '80s when people started becoming wussies did they stop showing Watership Down.
They would show, and Watership Down is more of a thing about totalitarianism, dictatorship and stuff. It's actually really well done. But as a kid, when I first saw it at the movie theaters, we're like, oh, rabbits, right? And I was like,
It's Bugs Bunny.
well, we weren't that. We were violent children. But I'm just saying, oh wow, rabbits, and they kind of fight. That's how they, it's about this, and this one rabbit loves the other rabbit, but they can't. Okay, we'll go see it. It's cartoon. It's rabbits, right? We get there. I think. OG, am I correct? About 2 minutes, 5 minutes in the movie, another rabbit's ripping another rabbit's neck out.
Neck out. Yeah.
I'm like,
freaking throat. Right.
I'm like, holy crap! And like our friends, and like, I hope Bugs Bunny don't come to this neighborhood, but I think Bugs Bunny could have handled it.
Al, you know what's really good? Animal Farm.
The book. I read that.
Great.
I read the book's excellent.
Great.
I've never seen
The movie, like I told you weeks ago, awful.
It just wouldn't play well in a movie. You have to.
It was awful. It was half animated, half real life. Awful.
Worst movie. Awful. OG. Then we're gonna go. Not go, but we're gonna go down the line. OG. Worst movie.
Worst movie or worst movie that's still entertaining?
Just worst movie. Then we'll do worst movie that's entertaining.
Geez.
Just quick, off your top of your head.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Ooh, that is a good one. Travis, Sam.
Go ahead, Sam.
Oh,
Sam.
me? Okay.
Worst movie.
Shoot. I'm having a hard time coming up with one. Sorry.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry.
Travis.
The remake of Red Dawn.
Oh, that was bad. The first.
I've got one.
Yep, go ahead.
I've got one worse. Phantom Menace.
Ooh, that's where dogs should be popping in right now. About the English, the English Patient, worst effing movie ever.
I've heard it's a
Planet 9 from
horrible
outer
movie.
space.
Was that the last Bela Lugosi movie?
It wasn't Bela Lugosi. It was.
Was that the one with the fake?
Yeah,
Hello,
the air-
Boxing and Sports. Check out that great boxing channel.
when they're supposed to be in the airplane cockpit, and the cockpit flight controls is just a little box sitting right there. It was Ed Wood's movie.
Yeah, was that the Bela Lugosi
I think
one?
that
though?
was the last one that Bela did. Yeah,
They literally had the fake looking octopus, which was god awful, and people rolling around with it. It's a bad movie. Actually, the Ed Wood movie about that with Johnny Depp is actually
Johnny Depp. Yeah.
quite entertaining. There's a classic line where who's the one who is? I think it's the one from Sex and the City. What's her face?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica
I
Parker.
think she's in that. I could be wrong, but Ed Wood turns to her and he goes, "I just got to tell," and he's kind of lispy when he talked, right? He goes, "I just got to tell you something." She's like, "What?" She really liked him, at least in the movie. I don't know in real life if she really liked him, but in the movie, it was kind of funny. She goes, I like to dress in women's clothing," and she goes, You don't like girls?" He goes, "No, I love girls. I just like to dress in their clothing." She's like, "Okay." It was just a really goofy kind of. This guy made, when I say B movies, I just mean he made nothing dirty. They were called B movies, these bad horror movies, right?
Bad.
Horrible. But there's
low budget.
and he got Bela Lugosi. I think he was in one or two of his movies. I know that was his.
Yeah, that was near the end of Lugosi's career. So yeah,
but he would make these movies and they're just horrible. I mean, horrible. I mean, it's something that they would. I don't even know what movie theaters would show them, but they would show them. This is what he did. And it was kind of funny because it's almost guerrilla. It would be called like guerrilla filmmaking because they literally would go film at these places at night or whenever they could sneak into some place and do something. The most successful of something like that would be George Romero, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah. George Romero, when he did Dawn of the Dead, my friends and I always
The
said
Mall.
Yeah. Well, that was not the first one, The Mall. But yeah, they filmed one of the sequels in The Mall. But the first one, the original Dawn of the Dead,
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. I mean, we always said that they spent $20 on film and then $10 afterwards for pizza for everybody.
Again, I know we're all over the place, but that is one of the most interesting storylines. Is they know a guy. One guy says, "I know a guy who has a farm," and he goes, "Well, ask him if we can film on it." He goes, "Yeah, we got it for 2 days or the weekend." They filmed that whole movie. on a weekend or something like that. And it's actually not a bad movie. It's entertaining. And again, I like, he's passed away. I like George Romero because, again, if you've seen the movie, they had a thing. That's a public domain movie. You can actually show it on your channel if you want. I mean, I don't recommend it because some idiot's going to hit you with a copy. It's funny because you can't be hit with a copyright strike. It's a public domain movie, but you will be hit with a copyright strike, even though it's a public domain movie, because something happened. And I think, OG, you know, the studio screwed him because they actually liked the movie. He didn't do some legal paperwork and he didn't realize it. So the movie was supposed to be The Dead or some crap. They changed it to The Night of, like, they changed the title. That's all they did, and it became theirs. But they didn't do something either, and it's public domain. The one with the mall was another funny one. Someone knows someone who's doing construction work, right? They're gonna knock the mall down or something, and he's like, "Listen, we got a week to film in there." Because they're going to knock them all down and build something else. And that's how his stories of how he made the movies are absolutely incredible. Now, it's a shame that as he went on, he got more money, but he never really adapted he made him too cheesy when he could have made him a little better, because his storylines, I'm going to tell you right now, the Dawn of the Dead, the remake's good too, but his storyline's it's similar, but yet different. He always gave you like Dawn of the Dead. And I think he did the Crazies. I think he did the original Crazies. But they gave you, like, in the original Crazies, what I've always wanted, what I like about that one is they give you what the government was thinking. Like if you've ever seen the original, they basically, like, they nuke the town, they nuke the area because they don't know what to do. And they have this great scene. The guy who plays the president, you never see. It's literally, you see the back of the chair and the back of the head. And it's just really actually acting not good because of the scene's well written. So, and Travis and Sam are giggling over there. What are they up to?
I'm showing Sam it's a bad movie, but it's a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's I don't think Sam has seen it, but it came out in 1991. It's called Highway to Hell, and it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but I can never look away when it comes on.
And how come? Tell us.
Well, for one, it has Chad Lowe in it, which I can't stand that actor.
Chad Lowe, brother of Rob Lowe, correct?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, yeah.
He's the main guy, and I'll read to you the synopsis of this movie, okay? This is what's on IMDb or whatnot. It says, on their way to elope in Las Vegas, teenager Charlie and his bride-to-be Rachel make a wrong turn that take them face-to-face with Sergeant Bedlam, an undead demon who abducts Rachel and disappears. Then Charlie meets Beazle, a demonic technician who informs him to free his fiancée, he must defeat the hellish highway patrolman in a no-rules road race in which losing means death, followed by eternal damnation. And it is like one of Ben Stiller's first movies ever that he's ever
done. Oh my
done.
God, that's hilarious.
And it's got the Christy Swanson in it, and it has Ben Stiller.
The one who jumped out of the cake on that in that Steven Seagal movie.
No, I think that's a different girl.
Oh.
But if you haven't watched this movie, it's free on multiple platforms. It's so bizarre. I don't know if any of you guys seen it, but man, it's worth watching.
Anything with go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
I got to thinking. I saw a bad movie a couple weeks ago. Would you like to hear what it was?
Absolutely.
It was It was a. That Roger Corman. I think it's Roger Corman who did.
Oh yeah.
It's called Sharktopus.
Sharktopus.
You ever see that?
That sounds terrible.
I like Push the Shark.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. The acting is horrible.
You know what? I'm going to tell you a bad movie that's entertaining. It's not even a bad movie. It's okay. What the hell was it called? Deep Blue? No. What? Okay, they genetically engineered the sharks to be smarter.
Deep Blue.
Is it Deep Blue?
Samuel Jackson is in it.
I tell you, laugh out. It's not a it's an old fashioned. Basically, if you take it by an old fashioned monster movie, you enjoy. That's the way I took it. I watched that over and over again because I took it as an old fashioned monster movie. People didn't like it, got panned but Samuel L. Jackson's giving that speech, right? And he's and the shark just comes up. That is awesome. Like he just gets killed. It's hilarious. And then LL Cool J's in this movie.
He survives.
Really?
Yes, he's one of. And what's funny about it, he's the chef, right? And he goes, and he finds a camera, right? And he goes, if I got to leave one thing, and he's talking to him, he's like, we're in trouble, blah, blah, but this is what I want to leave you. How to make the perfect omelet. And he starts making it. was so over the top, goofy. It was fun. Evangeline Crosby, Snakes on a Plane, is pretty bad also. Oh, yeah. Snakes.
Did you guys ever see the movie The Blob?
Yes, I seen the original with Steve McQueen, and I saw the remake was Matt Dillon's brother.
I always thought that was such the worst movie because it was like literally a blob that moved like a snail. You know?
That movie terrified me the first time. I was about 6 years old when I saw that movie for the first. I'm hiding behind the couch, bawling my eyes out. My mom's trying to console me,
and she buys you some like Play-Doh, and you're like, no! I'll give you another one I just thought of. In the 70s, they made all these horrible nature attacks movies, right? God awful. I'm not lying. The Day of the Lupus. Okay, please look that up, someone.
Giant rabbit.
This is, you want to talk about filmmaking 101. This is like a 10-year-old making a film going, I took my rabbit. That's my rabbit Henry. And I took him and I filmed him. And then what I did was I filmed my friend over there, and I make Henry look sort of big because I put small things around him. And then I'm not joking. OG, am I telling you the truth? They literally
straight up.
They literally. Go ahead.
For the ending scene when they killed all these gigantic rabbits because they
shotguns. Remember?
Oh no, this is the one where they flooded them, didn't they?
Well, they shot him too at some point.
They shot him. But they set up. They were coming across this. It was supposed to be a farm, but you could tell someone had gone out there and just dug in the dirt and had just normal sized rabbits. And they were trying to pretend that they were these gigantic toy cars. It was
it was horrible. It was one of the worst. That was one of those movies they would put on like Monster Week, the horrible Monster Week. This is like, this is a shitty monster. But I'd sit and watch because it was so bad. It was funny. I mean, they literally filmed rabbits and put small what idiot? And it somehow made it to the movie theaters. I was like, wow. And
you remember Grizzly?
Yeah, of course I remember Grizzly. This is all you saw. Grizzly. Grizzly was a bear. This is basically Grizzly. They're like, Jaws did well. Because I think it was right after Jaws, right? Like
after Jaws, they started doing all these.
Right. So basically, these other studios or these other they find out what other studios are doing. So they probably going, well, we can't do a shark. What about a snail? I don't know if a snail's scary enough. Okay, a bear, a grizzly bear. Okay. Now, can we get Gentle Ben to do it? He's not a grizzly, and I don't think he's aggressive. Do we have an aggressive bear? Well, we could get a bear and just poke the shit out of it. Okay, what's our liability if it kills anyone for real? A lot. Okay, let's not do that. I have a solution. What? I can make my son's doing an arts craft class, and I can make him an arm. Really? How much? I think if I give him those he likes McDonald's. So okay. I'm not making this shit up. I mean, I'm making this shit up, but I'm saying the whole point is all you see of the bear, and then you kind of see the bear in one thing. It's a ripoff of Jaws, basically, right? Now, Jaws is well done. Great movie. If you could do one thing, if you could fix the shark, which was high technology then, okay? But so basically, Grizzly, all you ever saw was freaking, and this arm would come by and kill someone. And so then the guy's like, I can only picture them sitting there going, wow, your son did a great job on that arm. Wow. You can really see the paper mache. Yeah, it's good. Just paint it a little more. Yeah, it'll work. And at the end, do they not blow the effing bear up with a bazooka? First of all, right? Wasn't it a bazooka?
It was a bazooka.
Where the hell does the ranger get a bazooka? Where does he get a bazooka?
In his closet.
He got a bazooka. He's up in a freaking ranger's. Bam! I'm pretty sure that's the way it ends. They blow up the bear with a bazooka.
It was a helicopter, but the helicopter,
Oh,
the bear was supposed to be 20 feet tall.
yeah.
So this helicopter, the guy is trying to get the bead on him in the helicopter. And the bear just reaches up, and again, you see just the arm. Grab the helicopter, pull it down, but the guy survives and he gets the bazooka and shoots. Oh, yeah, it was.
Again, so that they made these were like nature attack movies. Then they did the ants. Now this was the best one, and it was actually scary. Fire ants and they actually just used little, regular ants. They're like, listen, we got these sugar ants. We'll make them look ferocious, fucking ferocious, I tell you. And what do? We just put sugar and they kind of wander around, and we're like, ah. I like it. And you know who was in that?
Speed it up a little bit, make it seem really fast.
And then Grizzly Adams was in one of the versions I saw. Here's oh my God. Captain Kirk. Why did I forget his name all this? William Shatner. He was in a movie where tarantulas actually put the whole town in a web. I'm not lying. It was one of the worst movies you could ever see. He literally put the whole town in a web, and that should be Sam's Tangled Web.
Yeah. I like it.
He literally, I'm like, wait a second. You're telling me you couldn't get away from a bunch? They moved. You should have been able to get away from these things, don't you think? Now that was kind of frightening to me as a kid because I already don't like spiders. If there's a spider in my bedroom, I literally would sit there and go, okay, it's on. Get the infrared out. We got to find this fucker and kill him. There's no way I'm going to sleep until I find this thing. Right? They had Orca. Remember Orca?
Oh, yes.
The killer whale. And Richard Harris was the guy. It's like, you killed its baby, so it's come back for revenge. I'm like, really? But what would be fun is that the studios talking about this because they're all trying to get their Jaws. They're trying to find their Jaws because those studios probably were laughing at Jaws. It'll never be good, this and that. They know it's having problems. They know what the other things are doing, right? And then it's a big hit, and they're trying to find their Jaws. But the grizzly bear was god awful, and it was. I didn't remember. I remember the bazooka. I just couldn't remember the helicopter. Now that you said it, I remember the helicopter.
Sounds awful.
Oh, it sucks. You don't see a grizzly bear. You're waiting, and I'm not lying when I say it's paper mache. It was horrible. It's literally some dude probably with a fake arm going like this. That's a bad movie.
You know what? I can't wait. It's not an animal movie, but you know what Dog and I were talking about the other day? One of the best cinematic movies. You know what I'm talking about, Al.
Well, Ben-Hur is one of the best cinematic movies.
Exactly.
There's no grizzly bear in that, Will. There's no
Bear-Hur.
Bear-Hur. That would be don't someone, you know what, someone's going to be in Hollywood. Listen, I came across these idiots on YouTube. Now, there were these two guys. Okay, let me tell you something. There's a guy, Will, he's okay. Devin was okay. Travis, there's a guy named Travis, and Sam, they're okay. But this other idiot and he sort of sounded like me, but they came across, listen, we're redoing Ben-Hur. I know the last one sucked, but listen, it's a different take. Remember your son when he was a kid? Remember he made that arm? Listen, can he make that again? I know there's no ideas in Hollywood anymore. There's no idea. But yeah.
Who was the director of Ben-Hur?
I can only think of the black and white one. I mean, the silent one. Cecil B. DeMille did. Why can't I think who did the other one? Cecil B. DeMille did the silent one, which actually, for its day, was actually technically pretty good. OG's
Let me look that up.
No, OG's looking up too. But
okay.
Oh my God. Then what was the last Jaws movie? Jaws 4? That was pretty bad. He's hunting the
Oh.
family.
William Wyler,
William
produced
Wyler.
by Sam Zimbalist. I mean, it's no
Yes.
names for behind the scenes, but yeah, Charlton
Great.
Heston.
Great movie. Just
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing that again at some point, Dog and I.
And I'm gonna be there. Oh, it's gonna be
less
there.
less the video. Yeah, they oh, what was oh shit, what was that movie? It was another animal attack movie. What the hell was it?
Where some
Oh, now I remember. It was that you don't now when you said where. Okay, The Howling. When I saw that as a kid, I thought that was like, holy crap. You watch that now, you're like, wow, that is bad. That's like, wait a second, the dude's got to put the mask on, man. Do you remember The Howling?
Oh, it came out right around the same time as American Werewolf in London.
Yes, and that was pretty good.
Well,
I
that
like-
tried to be a little bit lighter and more comedic too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, The Howling had Christopher Lee. It was like one of his he's basically doing he was the vampire. Those were okay. I know I've talked about this before. Christopher Lee made a bunch of vampire movies in the 70s, late 60s, 70s. I never understand. Listen, guys, if we ever have to go I hope to God we never kill a vampire, like a movie vampire where we know what we're doing, right? Let's not go just before the sun goes down. It's a bad idea. Why OG? Why do they always do that? Why do they go just as
It's the same reason why in horror movies everybody always splits up.
Yeah. That was one
I'm
of the
gonna go check the attic. I'm gonna go check the basement. I'm gonna go look in the bar.
they did a spoof on that. It's actually an entertaining comedy horror thing. I can't remember exactly the cabin maybe
Cabin in the Woods.
where the guy goes, who died and made you whatever? And why? How did you come up? What are we, Scooby-Doo? Because the kid says, hey, let's all split up. I'm like, yeah, bad idea. And why on Scooby-Doo didn't the bad guy just shoot them? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Because it would draw too much attention because whatever they were doing. It's like they were trying to steal the treasure out of the cave, and if people all of a sudden ended up dead, then the cops would come. But if you scare them off with a spooky ghost costume,
I mean, it was fun.
then they show up.
Anyway, that's our Scooby-Doo rant for the thing. But the
And of course, Fred always went off with Daphne and Velma.
yeah, you know what they were doing. They're getting
Of
high
course.
and doing crap.
No. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy were getting
Well,
high.
Freddie and Daphne
We're getting it
were
all.
fooling around.
Yeah, I think. But the other thing, the other, I just didn't get. Let's you go split up. I never could get the whole split up thing. I'm like, why would you split up? It never made sense.
Yeah, 3 and yeah, doesn't make sense.
And then that was enjoyable though. We already talked how that cartoon got ruined. We don't have to get Scrappy Doo ruined that whole fucking cartoon. But anyway, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I've run out of stupid information in my head.
No,
So
you
who else?
haven't. It's just you're getting tired and you can't access it right now.
Okay, well, let me drink.
What are you drinking now?
I'm glad you asked. Ginger ale, the ice is melted, and honey whiskey. What's the whiskey I like? I forgot.
Jack Daniels honey whiskey.
Maker's Mark.
Jack Daniels. That's the one I like. Good stuff. But what was they did one? You can take a weird concept and make an entertaining movie, though. I don't know if it was last night's chat. Cowboys versus Aliens was actually a fun, stupid movie. It was a fun, stupid movie.
It was a stupid movie. Yes.
Wasn't that Daniel Craig?
Yeah, and Harrison Ford.
Really?
Yes. Why Harrison Ford did that movie, I don't know. Hey, did you get your cat out of the dishwasher?
No, I had to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
It's still in the dishwasher.
The cat's still in the
Okay.
dishwasher.
That's okay.
My cat Nipples loves the dishwasher.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. Is it because
What's the cat's name again?
Nipples.
nipples?
Okay.
You heard that
Wasn't
correctly.
sure I heard that.
No, you heard it right. He's talked
Okay.
about nipples before.
Yep.
That's the first time you ever said it in his chat. People are like, "What did he say?"
I thought he said nipples or nickels.
No,
Nipples. It's nipples.
Nipples is a very sensitive cat.
I bet it's a girl, right?
I think so. Can you really tell what a cat is?
I don't get into it because cats don't like to be rubbed on their belly. You're like,
Yeah.
so when Sam House said, how did the cat react to him? Was the cat like, "Hey, who's this? Why are you here?"
The cat likes Sam, but I mean, like when I got home, the cat looked at me like, "You will not believe what I have seen." that's the expression on the cat's face.
Here's a movie. That's fun. Here's a movie. Now I can't believe we forgot because we're talking about the nature. Piranha. Evengi Crosby brings up. Remember the Piranha movies? Oh my God! Remember we put them in a pond. Wait, how does this movie go? Listen, we got piranhas. They eat shit. Okay. People aren't really gonna see them. We can show like a real piranha, right? And then someone swimming and it's just like ketchup. Okay. It's frightening. Okay.
It's just like the
But how did they get in the pond? That's a good question. Now listen, we're gonna bring all aspects into this. It's not just a pond, it's a pond lake. And it's a summer camp. Okay, but how do they get in the pond lake? Listen, it's gonna work. They never explain. Like someone basically goes, "I have this pet piranha. I don't like Philip. I don't like you anymore." And that's how the piranha gets in the lake.
next thing you know, they're gonna make a real life action of Hungry Hungry Hippos.
That would be funny. I would watch that.
Oh, did you see? I don't know if you've seen it. You remember the Banana Splits back in the 70s?
Yes, there was guys in costumes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kids cartoon, Hanna-Barbera. They're turning it into a horror movie.
That could be funny. Bad, but funny.
It's kind of it's the characters from the Banana Splits, but they're doing them all up 3 night or
So they're gonna kill people.
oh yeah, they're killing people. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. I saw the video a couple nights ago. Just like, are you kidding me?
They're taking
You are
a kid's thing, right?
destroying. Yeah, taking one of my childhood favorites.
Oh, they love doing that.
This is what's gonna happen. I guarantee you. Someone's gonna be like, "I watched this as a kid. I'm taking my little kids to see this. I'm taking my nephews, my nieces, my grandkids. You're gonna love it. We're gonna like it, Nanny. Oh, you're just so funny. The skies and oh, you're so cute. You're gonna love it."
Sorry for
Sorry. So they're gonna get there and they're going, "Oh my God, Nanny!" It's just screaming, blood, everything all over the place. That's like making Scoop. That's like making Charlie Brown into what's that show that was in AMC? The one with the drugs. The guy who made the meth.
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Oh, Breaking Bad, yeah.
Taking the Charlie Brown characters, right? And because I'm robbing this a little bit from who they made Charlie Brown a meth head. I think it was Family Guy did a joke about that. But that's like doing that an animated movie with Charlie Brown characters as Breaking Bad. That's bizarre to me. That is bizarre. We're coming up on 1:44 a.m.
Wow.
here. So, are there still people in the chat? Let's just check. 10. Oh shit, we got to keep going.
Well, four of those are us.
That doesn't. Shh. That ruins it.
They don't know that.
Yes, they do. They're smarter than we are.
True. Okay, if you want to see one movie made of something you saw as a kid, and what would it be?
Sigmund the Sea Monster.
I like that one. That was the green dude.
That was the green dude that was made out of seaweed.
Yep. That would be cool. Now, would it be a horror movie?
No, I want it to be a lighthearted Cthulhu comedy.
Okay. So no one's dying in it.
Sure.
Can we add a bear arm?
Yes. Bear arm has definitely got to be included.
I would want to remake the Grizzly Bear movie. And I'd want the same crappy and just get real that would be funny. Like you get big name like you get big name actors to make this horribly shitty movie. That is the word that when you brought that is Grizzly. That is one of the worst movies ever. I mean, at least the ones with the rabbit was so bad it was funny. The other one, they were trying, like, again, I don't know how those movies get sold, but maybe they want to take a loss to write off some other stuff. But I'd like to see. I want another Flash Gordon movie. Seriously, because when I was a kid, they showed the old ones from the 30s with Matinee and the Bijoux on PBS, which were actually very entertaining. Again, the goofiness. When they did it in the 80s, what was classic about that? Queen did all the music.
We did every bit of music for that.
But what they did was, I don't know who, and they had good actors in this movie. They decided we're going to make it just like they did in the so you see the stupid these horrible play, and it was awesome.
It was
But
good.
I like that. I like that movie. It's one of and what was the movie with the talking bear? That guy makes a cameo.
Ted.
Oh my god!
So funny.
When the guy goes, you know who I just met? Who? I did a line of coke with him. The guy was Flash Gordon. It was hilarious.
Goddamn Flash Gordon.
It's,
Yeah, I would like that made over. I'd like to see Flash Gordon again.
you know, I met that guy, Sam Jones.
Did you?
Yeah, I interviewed him. Actually, it's on my channel.
Oh, I got to see that. I'm gonna look that up.
And he never met Queen. He never met Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
He never met him. You know, I asked him what if he ever got the chance to meet them, and he told me, he's like, that's my one regret. He goes, I never met Freddie Mercury before he passed. I had the opportunity to meet him a few times, and I never took him up on the offer because, like you said, they did the soundtrack for the movie.
Oh, it's a great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, it's just iconic. The soundtrack is almost as iconic as the movie is.
Yeah, people make fun.
Maybe more.
Yeah, people might make fun of the movie, but they don't. They're making it like a 30. That was specific. They wanted to make it like that. They said we're going to make this, and it was entertaining. I don't care what name. It's entertaining. I remember the Hawkmen were hilarious. It was just like, oh my god, this is so. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just once you just. The reason why I liked it so much, and why I was excited as a kid, because I saw the old ones on the PBS thing. I was like, wow, this is just like it was entertaining. So how was he to interview? Was he a cool guy?
Yeah, he was really cool. I asked him. I was a little nervous about a question I asked him because this was like after like Ted 2 came out, and he was in that one as well. And
Yeah, he was.
when he was in the Ted movies, he had the hair and everything like Flash Gordon and all that stuff. And I asked him. I said, I go, in the original Flash Gordon movie, you had the blonde hair and everything and all flowing. It was iconic. And then in the Ted movie, you had the same locks of hair. And I asked him, I go, was that your hair, or did someone else have a little bit to do with it? And he started laughing. He thought that was pretty funny. And he's like, no, I wanted to grow my hair out, but they wouldn't let me do it, so I had to wear a wig and stuff like that. He got a big kick out of that and stuff.
That's
so,
cool.
but he's a big guy, and you know, he's just tall as I am and stuff. And he was in the military. You know, he was a Marine or something like that. You know, and
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
yeah, he did that before, and then afterwards, he's worked. This is pretty funny because after he got done with Hollywood and all that stuff, he went into like private government security, and he was like security for like diplomats, like foreign diplomats. How would you like to see Flash Gordon as your security guard? I think that's so freaking cool.
Wow, that is awesome. Wow, I did not know that.
That's
and again,
so cool.
I that was one of my. I still enjoy that movie when they show it once in a while. I'd like to see them remake it, and they could.
Yeah.
It's just a really interesting. Ming the Merciless is a dick.
Oh, it's awesome.
You know, but it's just. It's a well done. It's well done. I actually there was a. I can't remember. I think it was NBC on Saturdays had. I think the Flash Gordon cartoon in the 80s was fun. That was really entertaining. I bought like. It's not a comic, but it is. They used to be able to buy like these paperbacks, and I actually probably still have it somewhere. It was I would read that over and over and over again. It was a comic, but they put it in like a paperback form. So, but I would want Flash Gordon to be done over. I'd like to see that again. So that's about it for me. So I think we've hit a point.
Thump right into the wall.
Bump. Oh wait, Evenki Krabs said, "I would love to see Back to the Future remade with special effects we have now." That's interesting. Who are you gonna have play the characters? That's one of my fun things.
Yeah, who would be Michael J. Fox?
Who?
I don't even know what I would want
Jack
remade.
Black.
That'd be funny as hell.
One last movie, because I said Jack. Do you ever see the movie? Ben Stiller's in it, and they're doing a Vietnam War movie. What the?
Tropic
Thunder.
Thunder.
Great movie.
It is really
as
funny.
hell.
I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but he's in a fat suit. He's playing like the producer, and when I saw that, we went to the movies to see that because we it's goofy, right? And you
I
laugh.
love that movie.
I kept looking, going, "Who the hell is?" And then once they say you figure out it's Tom. But I swear to God, I didn't know it was Tom Cruise. I kept going, God, that guy looks familiar, and he's in that fat suit and he's all that.
And he's dancing. Oh, that movie is just
that was the clip at the end. They had the outbreak.
Robert Downey Jr.'s in it too.
Oh, they did the whole thing with
I am not Father O'Malley nor Neil Armstrong. It's amazing.
The side movie part of Simple Ben, like Ben Stiller made a movie called Simple Ben, and Robert Downey Jr.'s character go, listen, do you know why that movie tanked? I'm not going to say, he goes, you went full blank, right? He goes, Forrest Gump didn't go full, like he said, retard, right? He goes, and the whole concept of it was just like, it's such a stupid movie. It's funny. That was Jack Black.
You know what's what movies I love? I really don't talk about them a lot because not a lot of my friends have seen them. I am huge because of my parents. Oceans 12, 13, 11, 12,
you ever see
13.
the original?
I heard they're awful, but I love the new ones with Clooney, Pitt, Damon.
The original was basically an OG. It's like they wanted to make a movie. The Rat Pack wanted to make a movie. Like, let's do this caper movie.
Yes,
yeah. It's not really that good. It's not really that good.
Do you like the newer ones? I love them.
They're all right. The one I like, and they did one with George Clooney, Wahlberg. It was the Iraq War. It was basically
Three Kings.
It was kind of just like a Kelly's Heroes kind of thing, because they were trying to get the gold. That was a fun one.
Have you seen The Departed, Al? About the Boston cops?
Oh yeah. That's loosely based on Whitey Bulger, who they just caught and he got killed in the guy who actually killed him was from around this area in the pen. But that's loosely based on Whitey Bulger, and that movie. It's pretty well done. The music's good. Everything's good about that.
It's isn't it Martin Scorsese?
Yeah, The Departed. But here's the thing I don't get about that Sheen, Martin Sheen, when he's on the roof, have everyone seen The Departed? If you don't,
I know what you're talking about.
And he's like, dude, what are you playing with these guys? Like, you don't think they're gonna chuck you off the roof? Remember that they chuck him off the roof. I'm like, you gotta be nuts. That was, again, it's loosely based on it is based on Whitey Bulger. It's not the story. They took the what the hell was that guy's nickname in real life? Machine Gun Rifleman Smelly or whatever. It's loosely based on Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger was on the run for a long time.
You've never heard of it. I mean, I'm gonna look that up. Actually.
Oh yeah, it's a real Irish gangster guy who they killed a lot of people in Massachusetts. I'll tell you, one of the most interesting things, and they had the FBI. FBI will handle people. In other words, they'll try to get information. They do shady things, but they use it. Have you ever seen Mississippi Burning? You know the story Mississippi Burning? The people go down, the the students go down and they get killed. They're trying to register people to vote. Okay. Well, they don't tell you in that. I'm pretty sure in the movie they really don't tell you how they caught those guys. Now, they had caught them, but there was like a mistrial. There was this, there, that. And they had to get better evidence, right? They needed the bodies. That's what they needed. The History Channel, you can't find it because they and the 60 Minutes actually did something on this too, and that's what you can find on YouTube. The FBI went to a mob enforcer who they had worked with before, and they said, listen, we need to get evidence on these people. And he went down, and he kidnaps one of the guys, and the guy asked him, and this is, if I could remember, the guy ended up passing away in the early 80s, but they went down, he goes, well, who's the weakest link? Who can I get? And they go, we think it's this guy. And this is a true story. I'm not making this up, right? He goes down, he goes, well, what tell me about him. He goes, well, he owns an appliance store. He goes, okay. So the guy's from like New York. He goes down to Mississippi, right? He goes there. It's not funny, but I can only visualize it, right? So they have a safe house set up, and they go there, and he picks the most expensive thing in the appliance store. And he goes, yeah. And the guy sold TVs too. He goes, I like to buy that TV. And the guy's happy because he's going to make this big sale. And he goes, can you help me bring it out to the car? Bam! He hits it. They throw the guy in like he has something. They put him in the truck. They take him to a safe house, right? And they asked the FBI guy, they go, how did you get him to write the confession? He goes, is it true? He goes, well, I wasn't there, which he probably was there. He goes, he goes, well, how do he goes? Well, the guy took his, OG, when it's a snub, what do they call it? Snub nose? I can't think of
short-barreled revolver.
Yeah, he goes,
Yeah.
he basically did like a gut, and he goes, is that true? That's what I heard. He goes, either your signature is going to be on this paper or your brain. And they made the guy sign the confessional. And he made him tell where the bodies, because and they still only got 10 years. But if you look it up, I can't think of the name, but it's how the that's a true story, how they caught the guys from Mississippi burning. And then the FBI guy, they try to bring up on charges. They brought that up, that you let this guy was murdering people on your say. And he goes, and that's not true. But it's very interesting. It popped in my head that, because Mississippi Burning was a good movie, but they never get into how they really caught those guys, because they needed the bodies. They could never find the bodies. And that guy went down there. That's where I heard the phrase, when you deal with the devil, you find someone who's worse than the devil, where the guy went down there and I got to look that up now. But the documentary was excellent, but you can't find it anymore. It was unbelievable. So I don't know why I thought of that, but I think of random things in my head. And
Squirrel.
Exactly. Take care, Captain Carl. All right. Final thoughts. We go to Will real quick, then we'll go down the line. Al's done.
Well,
glad you could join us. I'll send you an email. We'll talk
yes.
some movies.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it always.
So come up with. Yep. Go ahead. Tell us about your channel, Will. Come on.
Oh, okay. I am a card collecting channel. I do videos on football cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, you name it, sports introductions, and I don't really have any new projects in the works, but there will be videos coming out this week, sooner or later. I'm gonna guess tomorrow, Monday.
And your channel's name?
WVogs18.
Excellent.
And I will be with Al this coming week.
Yeah, we're gonna solidify the date or whatever, notch down the date on that. And we'll be doing some sports talk.
Sports movie talk.
Yeah. So we'll talk about just some movies we like, sports.
Perfect. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Now we will go to Travis, that's Comics with Bueller, and Sam's Tangled Web, where they're both sitting there going, how did we come on here? First of all, I want to say much thanks. I was having a great evening, a wonderful weekend, and then you should send a link to some absolute, and Sim Salabim, he's right there.
Quick link. Boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Sam, tell us about your channel, my friend, then we'll go to comics.
Called Sam's Tangled Web, and I pretty much just talk about comic books that I picked up that week, show them off. Maybe every now and then you might get some other quick little talk about other stuff, but it's mainly comic books. And I'm gonna be doing my 100th video here pretty soon. So
You just put one up. You just put one up yesterday, I think.
yeah. That's
I
fine.
gotta watch. I gotta watch that one.
Because I was like, oh, I'm coming up on 100 videos here, so I got.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
so that's cool. So that's just me.
Well, please check out that channel, and if you have not subscribed, please do so. And now to Mr. Travis.
Hey, so this was great. I was really happy to get caught up with you guys again. It's been a while since I sat here and talked with you, Al and Devin, and I'm blanking on your name. This is the first time I've been on here with
It's Will.
Will. Okay, Will. And so that was a lot of fun. If people are curious about my channel, it's Comics with Bueller. The nice thing is, if you just type in comics on YouTube, it's one of the first ones that pops up. So that goes a long way. And I do a lot of edited videos. I do, mainly my videos are all produced and edited and stuff like that. And I do a live stream every now and then. But if you want to know anything about comics, it's a very easy channel to learn about comic books and to kind of get started. Or if you've done comics in the past and you're like, oh, I wish I got back into the hobby, it's probably the perfect channel to watch, because that's a lot of my audience is people getting back into the hobby, and it's an easy stepping stone into it.
What makes your channel, just sorry to interrupt, because you said your channel is so fun to watch because it's not, you go there, you enjoy. I don't want to say this the wrong way. You go there and enjoy. There's no pressure. You sit there, whether if you, and you're doing live streams. I think you said now every 2 weeks you're going to try on a Friday, if I remember correctly from yesterday. Like every couple of weeks you'll do a live stream as opposed to every week. And but you'd put up content. I want to say 4 or 5 videos a week. I'm trying, if not more, because I'm trying to the content's excellent. And again, it's a lot of fun, and it's a very, if you're interested in comics, and then he has the Bueller boxes, and tell us about those. Those are fabulous, and make sure you get the right Bueller boxes. I was in his chat last night, and I was in. It doesn't shock me, but it shocked me. So tell us about the Bueller boxes.
So the Bueller box is basically, it's something I kind of came up with. It's a grab bag of comics, and there's all sorts of different grab bags and stuff that's out there, mystery boxes and stuff. But mine is the only one that's, let's just say, extremely affordable. And I don't overpromise for what you're going to get. It's basically a box. It has 11 comic books in it. It's $11.99 plus shipping, so it's basically $1 a book. They're all bagged and boarded, and pretty much all the books I find as I go hunting or whatnot, they go into these boxes. And sometimes I find some really good things that go in there. So it's, the value is there. It's called the Bueller box, and I think I was telling Sam, since I started doing them, I have sold about 1,000 boxes.
God, that's
wow.
awesome.
And they're on my eBay, and like I was referring to, there are fake Bueller boxes on eBay. There's like 6 or 7 people that are using my name, my verbiage and everything. But if you look at their profile, there's nothing there. You know, there's no history or sale. They're brand new and all this stuff. But my profile is called Bueller's Bargains, and there's tons of history of selling the Bueller boxes on there, and they sell very fast. I don't have them on a lot. You know, when I put them on, they're gone like that day or that weekend, and they kind of come in waves.
And they're well received by the people who get them. They very much enjoy them. From the feedback I've seen in the chat, there are people, when you're in the chat, you know, when you're going to do your Bueller boxes, because he puts in, as he just said, fun, good comics. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and like I said, they're very affordable. I mean, like they're literally, you're paying like $1 a book. The thing I hear the most about my boxes, like I said, nobody's like buying them. Like, I better get something really good, you know. it's the value you get, and you get a nice variety. And the books I send out are not like characters you've never heard of. They're main characters. They're Spider-Man, they're Batman, they're Superman, they're Hulk and stuff like that. So you're not going to get some, cheap 10-cent book that you've never heard of. Well, who's this type thing? They're all mainstream characters, and people like them. I mean, I have people buy multiple boxes. I think one guy bought 10 boxes, and half of my orders when they go on sale are more than one. People are buying 2, 3, 4 type thing. So,
Multiples.
and I forgot this, and this is probably one of the coolest things about my boxes, and I believe I'm the only one that does this. People send me books all the time, and they send me donations for my boxes. And every book that I get that's donated is extra books that you get for free. You will always get the 11 initial books, and then you will get two or three extra books that are donated. And sometimes, and quite a bit, the donated books are grails and like really key expensive books because people are very generous.
There was I don't remember, again, the same with the card collecting community, the community that Bueller's involved with. Again, he's FOC, friends of the channel, friends of the community. We haven't neglected, but I'm talking about their I don't want to say niche, but what their channel's about. Is niche the way to say? I don't like saying niche. What their channel's about, okay? He has people, they send him, they'll go in his chat and say, "Oh, I'm sending you this, I'm sending," and he, just like he just told you, he puts it back into the Bueller boxes. That's what's so cool. Again, is he my friend? Yes. Am I biased? Yes, he's my friend. But the reason why I'm biased is because he's my friend. If he wasn't a good person, it wouldn't be like that. So he has done more, what I've seen for that community of helping other channels and just getting people in a positive vibe about YouTubing. And I'm always happy when he comes on. He doesn't have to go check out his channel. His channel is very successful. For him to come on to my Ricky Dicky crap channel, I'm so happy. And then he surprises me with Sam, which was awesome. Okay.
I had to do it. I mean, I've always wanted to come on and be on your show.
Oh, you're going to be on again next time when we come on. And again, I told OG I had nothing I really want. I don't mean it that way. Usually I have something in mind to talk about. I literally came on and said, let's just, so we were all over the place. I had fun. I hope everyone did. I had fun. But I would like to get, when we come on, whenever you guys can come on next, whether it's both of you or just whoever, we can talk comics, and your love of comics and the things of that and how you got started again. But I want to say thank you very much to both of you. As always, everyone makes my night, but the special of saying, I can't fake this. OG knows I'm not faking. I don't fake this stuff. When I get emotional, whether it's being a-hole Al, which I've controlled pretty well recently. OG, when Dog used to come on, he was the best. He's like, and I'd be like, and furthermore, this is what I think about that. But anyway, I don't do that anymore. And I shouldn't have. But it just makes me so happy. When I'm happy, I'm not faking it. I wear my emotions on my whatever sleeve, shoulder, however the hell they say it. So when he ever said, "Hey, and then he looks, I'm like, that's freaking awesome. Thank you, thank you. I really do thank you. And your channel, when I'm having, just like if it's OG or Uncle Ron or anyone, when I'm having a crap day or something, I want to come home. I just want to listen to something and hear that friendly voice. I know this sounds stupid, maybe. It brings me comfort. If I'm going through a tough thing with my dad or something with his shoes or whatever, it brings me comfort to hear a friendly voice. I'm sitting there going, you know what? I can talk to these guys. We talk about all kinds of crazy things. I'm happy. It just puts me in a good place. And I thank you guys for that.
I'm here for you too, Al.
I know, Will. I watch your stuff. Will does this. He wants to get me. He's seasicking me all the time. Like, stop that, Will. Now people think they come, they go, we can't make Will stop doing that. We come to see Will make you seasick. But no, Will's a great. I'm joking, Will. That's my.
Should I wear a sailor hat next time?
Oh, I like that. We got to think of that. Would be that. We're gonna do a goofy hat day. Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. So before we go, now I got stuff to think of, and they're like, I'm not. So the comics, I missed like 2 of your live things, right? I'm like, oh god. So I'm like, I know. I said, and I didn't realize you're doing them every other week now, right? So
Yeah.
I catch it. And I got there early, and I want to watch, and I listened to your stuff, and I love it. And plus, I knew you were talking about the Comic-Con, which thank you for sharing those stories with us. But you didn't have the hat on. I have to tell you something. Either way you do it, I love you, but you're a handsome fella. I can say that. I don't.
My mom tells me the same thing. So you
Your mom is right. Your mom is right. But thank you very much. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll be when you can come back on again, I would be more than happy to have you on, you guys. Again, we're gonna do Will. We're gonna go to OG in a second. Will, we're gonna do what are the 2 days you picked, Will? That you
I can do Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Probably leaning towards Friday. Probably.
That's fine. Just you.
I'm gonna email you. I'll figure out which day because I got
an email. I'm open.
Thank you. Now, OG baby. Devin, as always, thank you very much. I don't think what you're telling us about the lock and load project that you're doing, that's not boring to me. Never think that you're boring.
It's boring to a lot of people, so I just have to rein myself in and remember that sometimes.
No,
I appreciate your votes of confidence, Al.
No, I find it. I like all kinds of different things, and I thank you for taking the time to explain that. I really do. I really do. I thank everyone who comes in the chat. Thank you very much. So, OG, what's coming up? Are you going to be doing some? Again, you're doing research, so I get that.
But. Yeah, I'm primarily in research. I want to get some stuff to the table, but I want to get to a certain point in the research before I take a break from that. Week or 2, maybe more. Like I said, I got 4 more scenarios that I really need to work on the outlines for and get the units and then the type of scenario I want to do with it. And then after that, I may get back to recording some stuff. But yeah, I'm not a multitasker, not in the least. So.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. My bad habit with YouTube, right? I start project after project after project. I do finish them. It's just I like to start projects. That's me. So, OG, you got to say your thing.
Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Will, Travis, Sam, the OG, Ron, who was here earlier. Thank you very much. Health and happiness. God bless. You know what's coming, folks. You know what's coming. Peace.